Ruckerman. Ruckerman.
Real takes over fake debates, authentic truth. Can't underestimate SB and Sean, breaking through the noise, serving real talk, the genuine choice. No pretense, no hidden schemes, just sports passion fueling dreams. From the field to the court, every play that's made. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up, hear the honest sound. Unfiltered sports all year round. Discussions pure, no masquerade. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up. Over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates.
And we are live. SBtalksports, Sean Webb. Real takes over fake debates. Plug right there. That's what you're looking for. We got it's the draft special show today, Sean. It is the NFL draft day where I'm loading up my laptop right now. To watch this. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys share, make sure you guys subscribe. Salute to the chat. We got Tiffany there in the chat as always. Salute SB and Sean, Ravens Nation. Let's go. Trey, Mark Andrews. You gotta let that hate go in your heart, Tim. You gotta let that hate go in your heart. It's over with, man. It's done, man. It's over with, man. It happened. He messed up. It's okay. It's okay, Tiff. That's all it is. Salute Taj in the building. Salute Taj. Yeah, the wild Taj has appeared. The Giants fan here. Oh, my boy Berg Squad. Kevin Berg, said need to get back on the panel, my dude. Okay, we definitely gonna lock in with you, Berg. My boy. Sean, how you feeling coming into this NBA draft, though?
Listen, obviously, for all 32 teams, it's an exciting night.
Yes.
It's an exciting weekend because it's a chance to add, young talent to your team and gives you some hope, after free agency before you go into, mini camps and training camps for the following season or for the upcoming season. So definitely excited. Hasn't been a great deal of action in terms of first round trades or anything like that. Obviously, keeping out for any breaking news or anything that happens, and of course, we'll drop it here when we get it. But just an exciting night, and but also if you just think about it from, the young men tonight who will get, their names called to fulfill a lifelong dream of playing and pursuing a career of professional football. It's an exciting night for them and their families. So always great to see it. Obviously, we'll have the draft on mute because we're on live, but always great to hear not all, some of the stories behind with the young
Some of
men.
them,
Yeah. Some of them, some of the networks be going a little over the top with some of the stories.
yeah. No, especially when they want to build up some like a negative narrative on somebody, or please don't hit me with the what is the one thing they always do? So, like they try to like over exaggerate or make something seem more dynamic with their background or something. I'm like, come on, man, stop it! Like y'all got to stop this. But we can definitely see how it works out in the draft. I'm expecting to see a lot of shocking things with this one. Teams trading up. A lot of players' stock has been going up. Some has been going down, and I'm waiting to see because I already know the drama. Let's be honest, the drama is going to be around Shedeur Sanders. How far would he drop and what team he goes to, and then what he's going to say in this press conference when he drops. Like, how mad would he be? That's what I'm waiting to see, Sean. I'm not going to lie to you because we know that's going to be the talk of the draft, and I honestly think they're using Shedeur as a scapegoat just to get something exciting going on with the draft. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about Shedeur Sanders, SB, that's a good point. Starting out, sometimes it's not talent, sometimes it's need.
Yeah.
And does a team need to draft Shedeur Sanders? So, and I go back to 2005, like 20 years ago, with Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers. It was not, a slight to Aaron Rodgers that he dropped. It was just teams didn't see the need to draft a quarterback. Now, obviously, how it played out when you look at the career of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, particularly, probably some teams maybe should have drafted Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes you end up where you're supposed to end up. And, we've seen guys slide in the draft. Lamar Jackson, 7 years ago in the draft, was the last pick of the first round. The Ravens traded up into the back part of the first round to get him, and that's worked out really well. So I think we're going to talk about Shedeur Sanders, but I think him sliding may actually be a blessing in disguise, because if he does slide, he may end up in a much better situation than had he gotten drafted early.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize that too. Though, it's like sometimes it's better off to be in a better situation, especially as the quarterback being in a better organization. And I know everybody has been like high on him going to the Steelers, but the point with him going to the Steelers, I just feel like he actually fits the mold of what Mike Tomlin needs in a quarterback, and also where he will listen to what I'm saying. So I think him going to the Steelers is actually a hand in glove fit because the moment won't be too big for him. Pittsburgh needs somebody to give them a spark. Shedeur Sanders has been going to a lot of situations that has been dire situations, and let's just be honest about it. And he's shown that he can get the job done. So I'm hoping Shedeur actually goes to the Steelers because I think that's a hand in glove fit. But like you said, sometimes it's not about where you get picked; it's just being in the best fit. To be honest, look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts failed, went to the Eagles, outstanding situation. So that's just more for me. That's how I look at it. To be honest with you,
right? Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, obviously, just talking about the Steelers in particular, they need a quarterback. They probably need two quarterbacks. So again, need, and will if Shador starts to potentially slide down the board, will the Steelers want to trade up? Now, again, they may still be feeling a little bit of the burn from the Kenny Pickett situation from 3 years ago. But that said, obviously they need a quarterback. Whether or not it is Shador is a question. Now, here's the other side of it too. The Steelers have other needs. They don't just need a quarterback solely. They have other needs. They need to, get younger defensively, particularly on the defensive line. They, may, consider adding, a running back in this draft, as well. So, someone like Omarion Hampton, if he's there at 21, where do they have him on their board? So, it's obviously there's 20 teams picking before the Steelers, and we'll see where things play out. But, I don't think we should just pencil Shador in to Pittsburgh simply because they need a quarterback. They may, again, have other guys on their board higher than they have Shador Sanders. And most of these teams do try to stick to their board. They're not just drafting based purely on need. It's how does their board line up?
I'm trying to find what channel was the draft on?
So NFL Network and ESPN. Tennessee had the pick is in for Tennessee. I think we pretty much know who this is going to be, but yeah, pick is in for Tennessee.
Okay, and is it the draft countdown? I'm trying to find it because I'm like, okay, we already know what they're gonna pick. Okay, 2025 draft. Let's see, is it live? Watch. Give me. Sean gonna give y'all the play-by-play until I figure out what's going on with mine.
Yeah, no worries. Obviously, Tennessee Titans are on the clock. Short of something crazy happened, we all pretty much assume it's going to be Cam Ward.
Yes,
quarterback from Miami. The first pick of the draft. The pick is now in. Which again does not come as a surprise. They didn't wait the entire 10 minutes. Thank goodness they didn't wait the entire 10 minutes. It's like, okay, we know what y'all are gonna do. Don't play around with it.
Yeah, like I like that too, though. Don't waste our time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, and obviously, Tennessee, they're in a little bit of a rebuild, new regime. They've changed GMs and coaches every other year the last couple of years. Now it's time for them to get some foundation. So this makes sense for them to make this pick. And again, we expect it to be Cam Ward.
I was thinking the Cam Ward.
It is Cam Ward. The pick is Cam Ward.
The pick is in Cam Ward as the pick while SB is trying to get itself together. Cam C. Ward. Bro, I'm getting everything but what I want to get. I'm getting notifications and everything. Like, bro, I don't want the notifications, but nobody's not shocked here with this pick, though. Sean, what's your reaction to this one?
Not surprised at all. Again, when you just look at their division, every team in their division presumably has a young
quarterback,
young franchise quarterback. When you look at CJ Stroud and Trevor Lawrence and, still questions about Anthony Richardson, but I think there's still some belief that he'll be the franchise quarterback. In that division, you need a quarterback. You need a franchise quarterback to compete. And obviously Will Levis was not it. And so, we'll see.
Wow, Sean.
What happened?
A trade just happened. The Cleveland Browns has traded back to 5. The Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock.
So that tells me Jacksonville's taking Travis Hunter.
It got to be Travis Hunter.
Yeah, that tells me Jacksonville's taking Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm. And he's from Florida, right?
No, I believe he's from Georgia.
You sure? I thought he was in Florida, maybe.
You're correct. Yeah, you're correct. He was from West Palm. He was born in West Palm Beach.
What? That boy going to the crib? Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, so West Palm Beach is like more southeast. Jacksonville is northeast. Mm-hmm. So not close by at all. But no, he went to high school in Swanee, which is right outside Atlanta. So
okay, let me move this Jacksonville 10 played up and change this to 2. Yeah, they got to be taking Travis Hunter. I mean, Travis Hunter probably mad that he went number 2, but to go to Jacksonville is outstanding. To be honest,
Yeah. Hey, listen.
they need him too. By the way,
If you're Cleveland, this is a Cleveland. So Jacksonville gets the 2nd overall pick, fourth round pick, and a 6th round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland gets the 5th pick, a 2nd round pick this year, a 4th round pick this year, and a 1st round pick next year. So if you're Cleveland, that's great because again, you got 2 first rounders next year in a very deep quarterback class. Again, Cleveland might be in that Arch Manning conversation potentially next year.
I feel bad for Arch. I feel bad for Arch.
Well, again, Kevin Stefanski is a really good coach. I don't feel too bad for him, but that I'm saying that to say they're in a great position to, obviously get a guy in a much deeper quarterback class next year, knowing that there was not a guy they probably wanted this year.
Anyway. So they passed on Travis Hunter. That was crazy. I wonder who they're gonna take at 5 then.
Well, I mean, again, they have other needs, as well. Could it be, Mason Graham? Could it be, someone like that? Remains to be seen.
Right.
But again, I think personally, to drop back 3 picks and to pick up an additional 1st round pick
that's
year,
nice.
But remember we always talk about SB. That's the point system that these teams have to look at. So when you look at trading these picks, they're looking at the point value of these picks. Does anybody expect Jacksonville to be a tremendous football team next year? No. So that pick probably, I mean, obviously it's hypothetical, but probably could be somewhere in the 5 to 12 range, including where Cleveland's pick is. So, you want that ammunition if you can help it.
Yeah.
I know we were talking. We didn't talk about Cam Ward, but who is your draft comp for Cam Ward again? SB.
Ceiling Patrick Mahomes, obviously. Floor probably be like somebody like Baker Mayfield, maybe.
Floor
Baker Mayfield. Okay. Don't do that. Big Baker be balling. Don't do that. Your floor to be Baker Mayfield. I mean, you're not that bad of a player.
Yeah, I mean, if your floor is Baker Mayfield, you okay? You solid?
Yeah, you solid. You solid. Yeah, you're a solid player. Ain't bad. Yeah. What's your ceiling and floor for him?
Well, my comp for him is Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb?
Yeah, Donovan McNabb. Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
Donovan McNabb was a 6-time Pro Bowler. We're not doing that.
I'm just asking.
Donovan McNabb was a 6-time Pro Bowler. Should be getting greater consideration for the Hall of Fame. We're not doing that.
I mean, a lot of people should be in the Hall of Fame that ain't getting consideration. Let's be honest with you, Sean, about that one. A lot of people that should be getting consideration for the Hall of Fame ain't getting consideration.
Yeah.
That's just the truth of the matter. But at least I'm shout out to the Titans not wasting people's time. Yo, Zay the game. What's up, Zay? What's going on? He said such a bad skill. What up, shot? It's crazy. Go Browns. You just traded away Travis Hunter. Yeah.
No, I mean, listen. The Browns have a lot of needs. So, maybe using the 2nd pick for them to accumulate more picks for their needs is a smart move. And they picked up an additional 2nd round pick. So they got 2 picks at the top of the 2nd round, which is almost like having, more, because the 2nd round, top of the 2nd round is basically just an extended 1st round. So they could get 3 first rounders in this draft, and again, they got 2 first round picks next year. Andrew Berry's doing his thing. I ain't taking nothing away from him.
I'm taking away from him, real. But I'm just worried about a quarterback going to the Browns. Show me a full development process as a quarterback. I don't trust him. Hey, why don't they just take somebody random? We trade up for an offensive lineman. They'd be mad.
Well, they have needs on the offensive line, so if they got Will Campbell, and again, I'm just speculating. I think Will Campbell. We always said Will Campbell. I think he's going to the Patriots, but yeah. But the Jaguar selection is in.
Yeah. Trav going back home.
Now, would it shock you? Because we talked earlier about the
Shador
potential of we talked earlier about the potential of the Bears trading up to 5, depending on what the Patriots do it for.
Oh, if the Browns do a double trade to add more picks, that'd be outstanding.
Yeah, but that's hey, listen, I would not be mad with them. They gave up a lot of picks to get Deshaun Watson. This is doing the opposite of that. This is taking an asset and flipping it and flipping it and flipping it even more. So,
hey, I would commend them if they pull that off.
Yeah.
At least you said Duval better than the last guy.
Yeah.
I see. All right, bro. You talking too much, bro. Drop the pick. I mean, but
he's NFL. He's well paid man of the year. He gets a little bit of grace.
The Jaguars going to play trap because we know this pick is Travis Hunter. So if they're going to take him on, if they're going to actually let him play both sides.
Yeah, I would think so. Again, whether it be both sides full time,
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I think again, he'll play defense full time, and they'll put some get him some plays on offense. But I don't think it's going to be you just can play both sides full time, because again, when you're on the sidelines, you're meeting with your position coach. You're talking with, you're making adjustments, all that stuff. It's a little different in the NFL. So, but it is Travis Hunter going to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Trav. That man staying at the crib.
Yeah, that jacket's nice. He has on too, by the way.
Yeah. Like always dancing. That man always dancing.
Yeah.
I like this move. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like this move.
No, listen. I mean, when we did our wish list, I said when we got to Jacksonville, get Travis Hunter.
Yeah, and then that make them happy because we all know well-renowned that Travis wanted to go number 1. But I think with you getting him to stay at the crib, he's gonna be happy. Not too far in Florida, and Trav don't do too much of nothing anyway. So,
I mean, Jacksonville's a place if you don't want to do nothing, there ain't much.
You already said it. You might as well stand on it now.
No. I mean, but to your point, like he's football
only
all the time. So yeah, I mean, but also I think again they needed badly a transformative player in their secondary. They got a really good, obviously 2 edge rushers, that get after the quarterback. Still got to get somebody up the middle, which again I think they can probably do later in this draft. But obviously Eric Armstead's still there, but someone next to Eric Armstead long term. And then, but they needed a playmaker. And then again, can you mix them in on the offense? I think Brian Thomas Jr. is their number 1 receiver, obviously, but I would expect that you're going to see Travis Hunter on the offensive side of the ball. Again, maybe not full time, but you're going to see him enough where it may feel full time.
Oh wait, shout out Travis Hunter, the Jacksonville Jaguar. Woo-hoo-hoo. I like it. I'm not gonna lie to you, Sean. I like this move about him.
Yeah. Listen, no state income tax. He's happy.
Oh yeah. Now the money is gonna be good with Trav at. The money is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Trav gonna have a good old time. He can go fish when he want to fish. Be right down the street from the family because he seemed like a very fair, family oriented guy. So it seemed like he just stay home anyway. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, so exactly.
I actually like this.
Exactly. Salute Khalil. See you in the chat. Khalil said, I like what the Browns did. Yeah, Khalil, exactly. The Browns, it was a good move for the Browns to me.
I ain't gonna lie, but things Trav could work on as a receiver. But honestly, hands-wise, he got that. Like, hands-wise, he probably got the best hands out there.
Yeah, I think him and T. McMillan,
Khalil.
yeah.
Hey, Khalil, man, we gonna need to chop it up with you soon. If it's on stream, off stream, whenever. I need your boxing man, me and Sean Deppel, especially me, because what is going on with the world of boxing right now? We really need to talk about this. But Khalil also said that he likes what the Browns did.
Yeah. Giants pick is in. Got to assume this is Abdul Carter.
Woo! Oh, so Sean, because I got it on like low just to hear when the players talk. I don't care about the commentary.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Travis Hunter pretty much just said that the Jaguars, he will be playing both sides of the ball. They said when they talked to him, he talked to the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. So,
yeah, but again, is it going to be full time? That's what I'm saying. Like again, this thing of him doing what he did in college in the NFL, playing full time on both sides. I just don't see that as just realistic. Again, I'm not saying it's not about his conditioning. It's just about how they use guys in the NFL. And again, these teams use packages at receiver, things like that. I just think he's going to play more snaps on defense than offense.
And ain't nothing wrong with that either, too, because I think like he has the skill set to do it. I'm like you said, I'm just worried about the conditioning. The conditioning more than anything.
Yeah. League source on why the Browns made the trade with the Jaguars because we need multiple players. Traded 3 first-rounders for Deshaun Watson. Remember? See? Yeah. So.
But they actually said that?
Yeah. Someone inside of there, said that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, this looking like Carter. This looking like Carter.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Abdul Carter here.
Shador.
It is Abdul Carter.
It's Abdul Carter?
Yes.
Okay, we ain't wasting no time. Yeah, we got Abdul Carter. I like this pick. It's only I feel like it wasn't I know a lot of people just swear that they was gonna take Shador. I knew they want to take Shador. They just signed 2 quarterbacks. It literally made no sense to sign him. You know what I'm saying? It didn't make no sense to me to say, hey, let's sign Shador.
Yeah.
Because you already got 2 quarterbacks. Even though everybody think you can feel how you want to feel about Russell Wilson, but at the end of the day, they already got quarterbacks, so they're good.
Yeah. And again, I think, they're a team trying to win. They got to win games. So playing a rookie quarterback may not be the best way for them as they view it to try to win games right now.
Right.
So, but Abdul Carter, obviously, a lot of people had him as the number 1 prospect on their board. Some people had him too. This is a great move for them. They got Brian Burns last year in a trade with the Carolina Panthers, and they signed him to a long-term deal. Those 2 guys on their bookends of this defense. They got a really good front 7 in the Giants. Obviously, they've improved the secondary well. I think they're going to be a really good defensive team this season. Should be. Question is what happens with Kayvon Thibodeau, who they drafted a couple years ago as an edge rusher. Do they trade him at some point during this draft? I got to kind of think they probably will.
Right. At some point, they might have. They might have to.
Yeah. And then just want to ask you about your comp for Abdul Carter. I think you said Michael Parsons originally.
Michael Parsons for sure. Yes, Michael Parsons.
Yeah. For me, it's Derek Thomas.
Derek Thomas. Oh.
Yeah, Derek Thomas. Yeah, he plays. Nothing against Michael Parsons. He plays with better bend. Derek Thomas had that bend where when he could get under you with that bend, you couldn't stop. Von Miller has that too, or had that too. So yeah, for me, it's Derek Thomas.
Okay. Honestly, really looking back at this Cleveland trade, it's really not a bad trade when you really think about it. Because now I'm thinking like, if you still can get the player that you really wanted, I would have moved down too. So it's over with.
Right.
Yeah, because it's like if you still get the players you want, I say move down.
Yeah. But I think again, his name was just getting the player you wanted is getting multiple assets.
Yeah, with the assets is actually outstanding. I ain't gonna lie. If this man is healthy, he's gonna be crazy. Don't the Giants still got? They still got Brand Burns too, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
We.
No, listen, they're really good in their front seven. It's their secondary that had some issues last year. They did sign Paulson Adebo in the offseason and in free agency. So, they've tried to address their secondary, but, their big thing is, they got to be competitive and try to win some games in that division if that GM and head coach want to come back for 2026.
Hey, man, he got to calm down with all this ice on, man. You in New York, them taxes going to hit crazy.
But he's in a good spot also to, he's got a, he's marketable and things like that. So, yeah, let's see.
But Shador's not in his seat?
I don't think Shador went to the draft. I think he's with his family.
Oh, okay. They showed like the empty seat saying Shador was waiting.
Oh, he was okay. I thought they said he wasn't going to the draft, but
yeah. But, no, I think he probably come unless he figured he was gonna drop that bad. He didn't want to go there, but
I mean, I don't think it's a big deal if you're there or not. At the end of the day, you get drafted, you get drafted. Somebody, I think I'd rather be at home personally, but that's just me.
Okay. Also, we got an update just to talk about because if everybody talk about Elijah Arenas. Shout out to Lamont. He's posted on his YouTube. Sources directly close to the Arenas family have informed FYL Sports that Elijah Arenas is fine. And the induced coma was precautionary. Elijah has been placed in medical induced. He was placed in a medical induced coma due to smoke and inhalation.
Yeah.
A precautionary measure to aid his recovery. Fortunately, initial tests indicated that he did not suffer any broken bones or major bodily injuries. So Elijah is looking like he's good, making a speedy recovery. Shout out to the Arenas family too, by the way. Glad to hear that Elijah is actually good. That's as a parent, I'm still in the baby phase for me right now. But as a parent, I already know like it does get concerning when your kids go through stuff and all that. So I know this is a sensitive situation to talk about, so I'm talking with caution when I talk about this. But I'm glad that the kid is healthy. Forget basketball, forget sports and all that before anything. I'm glad to hear that he's okay more than anything. I don't care if they'd have been like, oh yeah, he might not. Basketball aside, life is more important. Basketball comes to go. But I'm glad the kid is good, no broken bones, so he should be okay. And that's it. So I'm glad to hear that. Sean, but let's recap what we got going on so far. We had a pick traded, what the Browns did. Then we get Cam Ward going number 1, which we was already prepared for. The Jacksonville Jaguars trading up for Travis Hunter was big for me. And I think he will be a difference maker for this team for sure. Right off the bat. Then we got Abdul Carter going to the Giants, which I think him and Brian Burns on that line is going to be vicious, Sean. It's going to be vicious. Not going to lie to you. What you think about the draft so far? Any shockers so far to you, even with the trade or no?
No, I mean, just obviously, because the trade didn't happen or it wasn't announced until during the draft. Definitely, shocker. I mean, obviously, trades like that didn't happen before the draft, but it does bring definitely some more excitement to the draft when it happens in the middle of the draft. But I think, for the most part, I mean, we had Travis Hunter going 2, obviously to Cleveland, now 2 to Jacksonville.
For the Jaguars.
3 to Abdul Carter. Patriots are on the clock. Their pick is in. Now, obviously waiting just to see what that pick is going to be. I think when we mocked it the other day, I said Will Campbell from LSU. I still feel pretty strong it's going to be Will Campbell, but let's see who they announce.
Let's see. If I start live, let me see. 'Cause I know you a little bit ahead of me. Okay, well, I should have never questioned nothing. Down my screen is that. I don't see. I need to leave stuff alone and not touch stuff.
Patriots did select Will Campbell.
Will Campbell's what, old tackle?
Yeah, left tackle from LSU.
Will Campbell rather than W. Will Campbell, great pick, by the way. Great pick. You got your quarterback. OT. Pick is there. I love this pick. Honestly, he looked like a big body too, by the way. He looked like a big body.
Yeah, he's 6'6", 320. So yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's what you need to protect your quarterback, and then especially when you got I can't do that about Diggs because Diggs been wild, but yeah, well, you got to make sure he be able to pass Stephon Diggs the ball before he crash out. You got to get somebody who's gonna protect that quarterback.
Yeah, you think about just the history of the Patriots. For all the praise for, Tom Brady, he never had to worry about his blind side. And so that's what you're doing here. If you're the Patriots, is you're making sure, hey, the guy we've deemed our franchise quarterback should not have to worry about his blind side for the next 10 years easily. And Will Campbell, I think, is a 10-year starter at left tackle easily in the NFL.
Now, this where things get sketchy. Hold on, Sean, because I think another trade going to happen. I think the Bulls. The Bears might try to get in on this. That's why the Browns probably went to 5. Hey, Bears, we got the 5 pick. Ask the Genty. Give us a pick or 2. Add on to our picks we need to get back. I think that's what we're gonna see right here. But if not, I want to see what Cleveland pick. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna throw this plate away. I'll be right back.
Yep. Yeah, now the draft gets interesting, as SB said. With Cleveland now on the clock, where teams gonna be calling them trying to move up to 5 potentially. Could the Bears call to move up to 5 to get ahead of the Raiders potentially? So let's see what happens with this 5th pick.
All right, Sean. The Browns pick is in too.
Oh, okay. So they are making this pick. Okay, so that's gonna be interesting.
Oh, wait.
What happens?
What they take Genty though? That's a
possibility. I mean, it's possible. I don't see them doing that.
I mean, it could happen though.
I mean, he's on the board. Anything could happen. I just don't see them trading back and doing that necessarily. I'd be really surprised if they did that. Honestly.
I think this is gonna be the first shocking pick of the draft.
I mean, running back is a draft need for them. Yeah, it's a draft need for them. But they have some other needs. Offensive tackle is still a big need for them. Defensive tackle is a big need. To me, I feel like this is Mason Graham. I got a feeling this is Mason Graham from Michigan. I think they have
Mason Graham is a beast, by the way. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, Mason Graham, he's a monster. And again, imagine, obviously you still got Myles Garrett on the outside, Mason Graham up the middle. And again, when you think about the Browns, when they've been successful, their defense, they've been buoyed by their defense and the running game. So you mentioned Ashton Genty. I think Genty could be a potential for them here. But I also think they could be a team with those additional second round pick. Could trade back up into late in the first round if Omarion Hampton's on the board, as well. So, but this is also it's such a deep running back draft. You're gonna you can get a guy in the third round who can start for you from day one. Yeah, I think that's just how deep this draft is at running back. So,
and I agree with you about how deep the draft is. I feel bad for Jitty because if Jitty don't come out killing, it's going to be a running back who is great late in the draft, who goes to the right situation, who's going to ball out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also, I think too, can't discount the potential Jalen Walker. A lot of people had Jalen Walker very high on their draft board. He could be the pick here as well, but looks like the commissioner is about to announce the pick.
All right, who we got?
Let's see.
I think you like a second ahead of me.
Yep. It's Mason Graham.
Mason Graham?
Yeah. Yeah. I got to say, we did a mock draft and we didn't mock any trades, but these were the first 5 players we had picked.
Yeah, in order.
In order in our mock draft. So we're doing so well so far. And I watched the Raiders mess it up.
I mean, it's such a Raider thing to do. And I'm glad you brought that up because I need to did I upload it in here? I don't think I did, but I'm definitely going to put it in here now. Where is our draft? If you look back, the video is up too if you guys want to watch. Throw it on my big board. Like he was the heavyweight wrestling champ. Oh, okay. Now they got somebody dangerous.
No, he's a monster.
Yeah, Sean, we look at our picks right now. Our first 5 picks is the same. It's just Jaguars and the Browns is different. Now, if the Raiders take Will Johnson, that'd be crazy. But so far, we 5 for 5 right now. We 5 for 5.
Yeah, we were 5 for 5 right now. We're doing all right so far.
We're doing so right so far.
Yeah, I do think again. We said the other night about the Raiders. They have no corners. They need a top flight corner. If Travis Hunter had been there, they would have taken Travis Hunter.
For sure.
That's how badly they need help. I just think Will Johnson is too good to pass up on. Obviously, again, we mentioned the other night the Michigan connection with Brady and Charles Woodson, and but just the fact that they have no corners, like none.
I feel like the pick is obvious here, and if you think Will Johnson will slip, I trade back.
Yeah. So I think the question would be, what would Carolina do at 8 or Saints at 9? Because I think again, if Will Johnson's on the board for either of those things, I think that he'll be in play there, as well. But again, the Raiders, new regime, hard to say what they'll do, but I gotta believe it's got to be corner here.
Corner, yeah. We'll see what they think and how fast the pick is in.
Yeah, and again, Jalen Walker's the kind of the X factor.
Yeah,
because he's a guy I think a lot of defenses would love to have.
Because Jalen Walker was a dog. I'll be honest, is a dog. Yeah, he got a long history with Brady. Mm-hmm. Let's see what they do right here. Come on, Raiders, screw this up. Screw this up. I don't need y'all to do anything good. Screw this up. I need y'all to screw this up. Let's go, Raiders. Screw it up.
Pick is in for the Raiders. They spoke very highly of Ashton Genty, obviously, without speaking too directly to it, but
Mm-hmm. Pick is in.
they did take Ashton Genty.
Woo! The Bears probably pee.
They should be. They should be.
Ashton Genty should be pissed. Yeah, you should have went to Chicago, man. But no, actually, no. I think he might be good. With Pete Carroll gonna use you the whole game. It's just when the game is on the line, when you're on the 1 yard line, he ain't gonna give you the ball. That's all that is.
I mean, this. You know who I compared Ashton Genty to.
You said LT. That's high praise. I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm gonna hold you to it because I see him. But just
listen. I told you I asked another friend of mine who was a running back in college, and he said the same thing. I didn't even tell him who I had. He said the same thing. He said just a smaller version of Daniel Thomason.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to it, but let that man don't look like LT. Sean, me, you gonna talk. We gonna have a conversation.
Well, I mean, but obviously, yeah, some of it is where you go, and the Raiders.
He got a coach who's running back favorable, by the way. So
yeah, of course, yeah, and and Chip Kelly is the offensive coordinator. Which means he'll be running probably out of a lot of spread and some zone looks.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping he'd get to Chicago though.
I think him in Chicago would have been different. But now that tells me the Bears are probably gonna get a running back later. Maybe Omari or some later in the second round. They're gonna go second round and probably get a running back.
Well, they got 2 picks in the second round, so they could very well get
him
if he's there. Again, they may have to move up to try to get him.
I think in the second round it's easy to sacrifice to get him.
Yeah.
See what Genty did with the Raiders. I actually like Genty, and he with the ops now, so it's up. But wow, they say his NFL comparison is Emmitt Smith.
I understand because of the contact balance and some of the things like that, but he's shiftier than Emmitt to me.
Yeah, he's definitely shiftier than Emmitt. For sure.
And he's a better receiver than Emmitt.
Oh, wait. Run him over. Ashton was a beast this year, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy. I'm happy to see a running back going to top 10 because I think the league need to put respect on running backs' names and act like that position is not valuable. That's all I really want. Though. Like act like the running back position is valuable because you need it. Stop acting like you don't, and stop acting like you're lowball.
I mean, listen, if you got a chance to get somebody special, you get them, right? That's the bottom line. And if they're special, you find a way to keep them.
Yeah,
Giants. So I mean, it's kind of simple. So, but you got to think Saquon, you got to think Bijan Robinson, you got to think the duo in Detroit. It's you think Josh Jacobs, like a lot of those guys, Derrick Henry, a lot of those guys help really kind of show the true value of having not just a running back, but a really top flight running back. So
yeah, Oakland Raider. First Boise State guy.
he's the last Boise State guy to go in the first round was Leighton Vander Esch.
Yes, 2018.
Yeah. What did the Jets do? You had the Jets taking Mimbu from Missouri, correct? Okay.
I believe so. Let's compare it to our draft. No, we had Will Johnson go here.
No. I'm saying you had. I'm saying the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets take it. Mimbu. Yep. Let's see if they actually take him.
Yeah.
I think they should. It makes sense to me, but
freaking Raiders messed up my board.
Messed up your board, yes, sir. That's what part of the draft is like. That's draft life, man. You gotta mess up your board. Oh wait, but I like the draft so far. We had to recap the picks all over again. We got the picks coming so fast I can't even use the pick is in. It's the RTOFD draft special. Cam Ward going to quarterback. Very predictable. Get Mr. Mayonnaise up out of here. Jacksonville trading up for Travis Hunter. I think they only really trade up because this is really the only team that truly was going to let him play both sides and looked at him as both sides position. Obviously, the Giants go with Abdul Carter. The E makes a lot of sense. New England goes with Will Campbell, old tackle. And then Cleveland go with Mason Graham, PT. And then the Raiders go Ashton Jitsi. I feel like there's no shockers right now. So far, I think everything played in place. The only thing shocking me is that the Jacksonville Jaguars traded up for 2 for Travis Hunter. But when you look at it, it makes sense. But besides that, the draft is going crazy so far. I still think once we get to 10, after 10, I think things will start getting crazy. That's what I think. Things will be all over the place. Teams doing things, teams taking chances. I think after 10, I think the Bears will set the standard for doing something different. He said, the Browns. I mean, get Mason Graham. You got to buff that lineup. And you gotta you just paid Myles Garrett, and he literally said he wants to win the championship caliber team. And the best way to make him happy is put a new person on the line with him who's a stud on the line. So that's the first thing first. Make his counterparts great so he can be happy. Then you add on to what else going on with the team. So that's all it is. Wait, the Jets pick is in. The pick is in, Sean, for the Jets. The pick is in.
Yes. See.
Okay. The pick is in with the Jets.
Yeah, it was Armand Member. You were correct.
Ooh, I told you. Sir. I told you.
Yeah. No, listen, they, we talked about it. You got Justin Fields. I think they're super high on Justin Fields potentially being their long-term guy. So you got to support him. And how you support him, you make sure things are right with the front five. I think he's going to, line up at right tackle for them. And, again, they got some pretty good with Elijah Vera Tucker and, some of their other young offensive linemen. They're going to be really solid up front.
Yeah, that's a big body. And I knew it when I looked at the Jets, when I had the Jets on my board for this pick. I was like, hey, you just got a quarterback and you got a new coach. You got a new coach and new quarterback. The new coach want the system to work. The new guy who's running the office want everything to work. Best way to make it happen, build the trenches. At the end of the day, you go trenches first always. First always. You can find a skill position. I'm gonna be honest, and I heard multiple people say this for football, and I felt this way. about football in general a long time. I never really said it, but once people who actually play said this, Sean, I knew it was true. They literally said it's no difference in skill positions at certain levels because everybody is legitimately good. It depends on opportunity. Obviously, the D1 guys might be a little bit better. It just depends, but also it could be lower schools. I should say, not D1. All D1 guys, skill positions are good. The difference from the best schools and the worst schools is the trenches, the offensive line, D line. That makes the difference all the time. It's all the quarterbacks can be great if they're in a good situation. All the wide receivers can be good if they're in a great situation. All the running backs can be good if they're in a great situation, no matter what school you at. But if that line not good, or if that D line not good, you're gonna get cooked at cornerback. If your D line not good, you're gonna get cooked if their offensive line is not good at the point blank period. So that's why I said you can find a skill position player in the second, third, seventh round. How many players we done seen went late at skill positions and end up being Hall of Famers or All Pro type of players? We see that all the time.
Yeah.
So it's possible, but the trenches, majority of the time, the best trenches players are always picked early.
Just not so much breaking news, but Giants GM Joe Shane just said they've already told Kayvon Thibodeau they are exercising his 5th-year option. So means he'll have 2 years left on his deal. Again, doesn't mean they won't trade him, but they are exercising this 5th-year option. So if they do trade him, the team knows they'll have at least 2 years of Kayvon Thibodeau under contract.
Because that my next question is gonna be to you, Sean. Now that you're saying it, so it's is you gonna play one of these guys at linebacker, or what are we doing? You got Burns, Thibodeau, and Carter.
Yeah, I think again, those guys are edge rushers. They get after the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can't have enough guys who do that, and you can be multiple if they plan to keep Thibodeau. They can use all 3. I don't think there's a question about ability. I just think it's a matter of resources and how many resources do you put in to one position like that. So and I think again, if they get an offer on Thibodeau,
you got to take it.
I think they're going to take it.
Lee said, Lee, you wrote a paragraph and a half, by the way. He said, Mace Grant definitely a good player, but I just don't understand the pick when you can't argue there's maybe 2 more DTs better. Who can you still get later in the first round, such as Walter Nolan? Plus, the defense was not an issue last season for the Browns. They still don't have a quarterback, and they lack weapons on the offense. What you say about this before we go to the next comment with Lee? Shout out my boy Lee, by the way.
Yeah, I just think I understand Lee's point, and again, I think when you just look at this draft at the top of this draft is really a defensive draft. The best players on the defensive side of the ball, outside of Ashton Genty and Cam Ward, depending on where you have him, the highest rated receiver. I mean, obviously we talk about Travis Hunter, as a corner and receiver, but it's T. McMillan. For a lot of people, T. McMillan, was not a top 5 pick.
No.
I think you could see him potentially go to Carolina at 8, which again, that was the pick we made in the mock draft. But it wouldn't surprise me if he fell in the middle of the first round either, just because of how teams have potentially graded him. I think at the end of the day, when you just look at and just I want people to think about this when we look at just the Super Bowl champs. Why are they the Super Bowl champs? They got a talented team, but
very talented
because they are fortified in the trenches, in the middle of that defense with Jalen Carter and with Jordan Davis, and their offensive line is the best in football. So I'm never mad when if a team sees a player or has a player, like Mason Graham and says, hey, this guy can be a big part of what we want to do defensively and make life easier for our best defensive player, our best player, Myles Garrett. I'm not mad with what the Browns did at all. And again, I'm thinking about they're going to have 2 first-round picks next year that, again, put them in a better position to find a long-term answer at quarterback potentially.
I won't be sure. Let's see what the Panthers do. I won't be shocked if they take a tight end too. Tyler Ward could be crazy a pick right here. He said, "Ali said I also agree, but the Bengals don't step the Super Bowl or have a winning season without Jamar Chase. Eagles needed Devontae Smith. Also, he was also a first round pick and a Super Bowl champion. But you got to also think, Lee, that line won them that. But the pick is in right here.
Carolina took T. McMillan, wide receiver.
McMillan?
Yes, got that right.
You got that right. Hey, we lock it in right now, Sean. We lock it in.
Outside of the freaking Raiders,
The Raiders
on board.
the Raiders it's the Raiders, Sean. It's what do you expect?
Yeah,
it's the Raiders.
Listen, we said the other day, T. McMillan. You got to get a big time weapon for Bryce Young. Love Xavier Legette. I think Legette can be a really good player for them, but they needed to add more outside. For Bryce Young and that offense. They're set running back with Chuba Hubbard, obviously. Has spent some resources on the offensive line in the last couple of years in the draft and in free agency. They needed a weapon outside.
They needed a weapon, yeah.
And so T. McMillan, I think, makes a lot of sense for them. My draft comp for him was Drake London and Mike Evans. I think he's that type of receiver potentially for Carolina.
And if you think me and Sharon camping, look at our board right here. Only pick is wrong right now is the Raiders. And the Raiders always messing something up. So at least we know we're gonna get another run with the Bears because Ashley Jinty is gone. But let's see what your Saints do on the clock. Your Saints on the clock, Sean. What you expecting from your Saints?
I want to trade back.
I think
I want to trade back. I want more picks.
I think trading back will be outstanding. Nope. Y'all will not be trading, Sean. Your pick is in.
Shoot.
The Saints have selected
I think
Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, yeah, we ain't doing that.
You sure?
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
You sure?
Yeah, we ain't got. Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, look, I'm Chad. It's the writing's on the wall, Sean.
No, we ain't doing that.
Writing's on the wall. I'm gonna just watch. No, watch. Don't say it. Don't say it. I don't look at your face reaction when I see a pick. I just want to see your face. Don't say when to pick it. Because I'm a second behind you. So I'm gonna see it. And I'm just gonna look right at you. Shedeur
I'm gonna tell you right now. If that's the pick, let's just end this now.
Appreciate you guys watching another great episode of Real Takes. It's over, Sean. Sean, your face for the picture door. It's there. It's there. Who got picked so far? I just got here. I got you, TY. And Lee, I see your comment. I'll definitely talk about your comment. So first, Tennessee Titans selected Cam Ward. Jacksonville Jaguars trade up to number 2 pick this pick Travis Hunter. Number 3, the Giants picked Dual Carter. Number 4, the Patriots take Will Campbell, offensive tackle. Browns, after trade with the Jaguars, take Graham, D tackle. Raiders took Genty at running back. The Jets took Mimbu at offensive tackle. And the Panthers just took McMillan, wide receiver. And the Saints are on the clock right now. The Saints are on the clock, and the pick is in at the moment, TY. Next year, quarterback class is huge. I like Taylor Green over Arch Manning. Are you crazy? Lock in. Oh, Sean, let's see what the pick is in, Sean. You sound a little nervous, Sean. You sound a little nervous, Sean, with your team. No running back for the Bears. No, TY, no running back for the Bears. They didn't know. The Raiders took them. But they can get a running back later. You got Amari Hampton. There's a lot of people that's still good in this draft. I think Amari Hampton might be there. And so the Bears will be good. They're going to get their running back in the second round.
Yeah, or again, they got 2 second-round picks, so they could potentially, package those to trade up if they want. So, I think it's a matter of
the Bears going trenches in the first round pick. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's gonna be offensive, defensive line. If they going trenches for they pick, I can tell you that right now. They might try to trade back for sure, but we'll see how it goes. Bryce Young.
Yeah, I can see Will Johnson here again.
Mm-hmm.
No Marcus Lattimore anymore in New Orleans. No Paulson Adebo anymore in New Orleans. I think corner could be the pick here.
Longest active draft since drafting a first round quarterback. Saints, 1971. You know who they drafted? Arch Manning. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. The Saints just pick who they want to pick right here, non-quarterback, and then tank and get Arch Manning next season in the first round.
Yeah.
Let's see. The pick is in. Don't say it, Shy. If it's not Shador, you can tell me. But if it's Shador, don't say that. Just look at the camera. The pick is in.
Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas.
Yeah, they banking for Arch next year.
Yeah, I mean, they drafted offensive tackle last year in the first round and going back to back. Obviously, Ryan Ramczyk retiring on the right side. I think this pretty much puts Kelvin Banks on the right side of the offensive line. So Talonga on the left, Kelvin Banks on the right, fortifying the offensive line. I'm okay with this pick.
I think this is actually a good pick for the Saints. That gives Rattler another year. Hey, look, if you really want this job, this is your chance. We believe in you to get to be the starter, or if not, we're gonna let Derek Vehicle play. And if you're gonna draft, I think Arch Manning is set to play for the Saints. It makes sense.
Well, Vehicle is maybe out for the season. There's a shoulder.
Oh, well, it's over with there. Oh, yeah, it's over with there.
I hope he's done with the Saints. I don't want to see him in the Saints uniform ever again. That said, obviously you got Rattler there. Could be in the trade market for another quarterback potentially. Could take a quarterback later in this draft. Again, I understand there was some interest in Jalen Milroe potentially later in this draft as well. When you think about Kellen Moore and just what he did with Jalen Hurts last year in Philly, some similarities with Jalen Milroe coming out of college. I think Hurts was a better passer, obviously, coming out of college, but just some of the same, attributes in terms of the ability to run and move and has a cannon of an arm, so that could be something we could see, again, maybe tomorrow in the second or third round potentially. But I like the pick of Kelvin Banks Jr. It's a solid pick.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. What do you say? I really don't care. They was bragging about running backs. My Eagles gonna beat the who out of them this year. Okay, all right, Ty. I wanted the Texas draft. In McKay. I hope Luther Bolden doesn't go to the Chiefs. It's a possibility though. Yeah, Arch Manning was terrible against Georgia, but he has played only 2 games. I'm not saying that. No, Arch gonna play better this year. Watch.
Yeah, he'll be the starter. He'll be the starter. He'll be the unquestioned starter. He's gonna get all the reps. So I think you'll see why they were so high on him coming out of high school. So yeah.
The pick is in for the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears wanted this pick though, right? Though who the Saints just picked.
Possibly, yeah. I think
possibly,
possible. Yeah, I think possibly. I think again. I think they wanted Genty, for being
honest. They wanted Genty. But they got to go trenches now.
Yeah, but you could see maybe Shamar Stewart here potentially from Texas A&M. I think he could be a possibility. I think Tyler Warren could be a possibility. They did like that 2 tight ends in Detroit quite a bit, and obviously you put him with why am I having a brain fart on the Bears tight end?
Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet, thank you. Jesus. Put it with Cole Kmet and some 2 tight end sets. So, we'll see.
Let's see who the Bears pick. I'm waiting on this pick. I'm actually, the only reason, I stopped being a Bears fan because of how bad they ran the Super Bowl. But the only reason why I started back being a Bears fan because they drafted a black quarterback. I'm being 100% on Justin Fields. The only reason why I started back to support the Bears. I never thought in my lifetime I'd see the Bears draft a black quarterback. And then they traded him away. But that's not the point of the conversation, Sean. That's not the point of the conversation. And who the Bears pick? Will Johnson will be a good pick here.
I mean, they did. I think there's.
Trench.
I don't think corner's a huge need for them.
But I mean, that's a player you can't pass on. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, I mean, you could. I mean, again, I think there's some corners later in this draft that can play. I don't think to see that as a high need for the Bears, but we're about to find out who they took. Obviously, is freaking.
The Bears have selected. R.I.P. Steve Michaels, by the way.
Yes, R.I.P. Mongo. R.I.P. Mongo. One of the biggest personalities on that 85 Bears team, and they had a lot.
I might actually come to you if you ain't seen the pick yet. We might caught up to you there.
Yeah, they selected Walter Payton 50 years ago and could have had Ashton Genty 50 years after picking Walter Payton, and the Raiders had to mess it up.
Raiders messing it up.
Jack wagons.
Yeah, the Raiders are good messing stuff up. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't mad at them taking their time on this one. Shout out Walter Payton.
No,
say them accolades.
And also, I'm just saying this right now. The Raiders giving them 400 yards passing per game next year because they ain't got no corners. I'm saying it right now.
You supposed to took Will Johnson. They knew they should have took Will.
Yeah, they ain't got nobody back there. Nothing.
I'm glad they know. I hope we get somebody as an option on the Chargers. We cook them boys up.
Yeah.
The Bears select
Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan.
Never. You motherfuckers. Oh. Yeah. No.
Well, you remember we said the other night that it was possible he could go first. Some teams had him higher on their board than Tyler Warren.
Oh, you mother. Oh, no. That mean what's the name? Cook, unless they finna run 2 tight end sets. Cole Kmet, Cook.
No. I mean, no, they'll use 2 tight end sets. I mean, you come out in 12 personnel. That's not a shocker at all. Again, they ran 2 tight end sets in Detroit under Ben Johnson. So this makes sense. Again, I still say they wanted Genty, but obviously he's off the board. But Colston Loveland is
the crazy part about it, Sean, my boy just texted me, who is a major Detroit Lions fan, my boy Cam. And we talked earlier, and I was like, hey, don't be surprised if the Bears take like somebody like Colston Loveland from Michigan. Joking. He literally just texted me, hey, bro, you called it. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, man, you might be better at this than you think, man.
I was joking, though. I was joking.
Yeah.
So wait, I gotta call my boy who's a Bears fan. Hold on, I'm gonna make sure I tell him don't curse. Hey, I'm on stream. Don't curse. How you feel about this Coastal Loveland pick? I'm on stream. Don't curse. How you like this Coastal Loveland pick? Okay. I don't know. He a beast though. Depends on what you eat it for. Yeah, it could be. I mean, the Raiders messed y'all up by taking Jenny too. I'm saying the Raiders messed it up. I mean, yeah, but I don't know, man. The Michigan kid, he used to play in the snow, man. Okay, we gonna wait and see. I'll call you later for your real reaction, but you could curse right now. All right, all right. That's my boy Damo who best friend.
Nah,
He ready to go crazy.
No, you good. No, you good.
I guess he wanted Tyler Warren, if anything. I hope Tyler Warren is still there later in the draft. I doubt it, but Coastal Loveland is crazy. I mean, Cole Kmet is cooked.
No, not at all. No, listen. It's again like think about just the teams that would employ two tight ends. I don't want to use them first, but like back when the Niners had Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker, or the Patriots with Gronk and with Aaron. Aaron. I ain't gonna get into all that other stuff because but you know what I'm saying. So it's not impossible that these teams, that want to use two tight ends will find ways to use two tight ends. It's and also again, if you're a team that likes to use the stretch runs, and remember Detroit did use some stretch runs. One of the best ways to do that is out of two tight end sets in some cases. So, this is not a surprise to me, but I think Colston Loveland, nothing against Cole Kmet, he's a more natural, fluid receiver than Cole Kmet. So I think, again, Cole Kmet's the better blocker, and Colston Loveland, I think, can improve as a blocker. But, this is, when you look at, you just think about, again, obviously with Caleb Williams, you got your two receivers outside. Now you got two tight ends. You got to, So yeah, I think this is a good move.
Yeah. Now, I mean, Coastal Loveland is a great player. I was hoping that he slipped to the Chargers. I think he would have been outstanding for the Chargers because I think he fit everything that we need. I don't know no more. I don't know no more. And I blame the Raiders, Sean, because the Raiders have ruined the draft right now. The Raiders have ruined the draft, and also the 49ers pick is in.
Yes. I gotta I don't want to say who I gotta think.
I would say we look at our draft board. Our draft board is cooked now. It's cooked.
Yeah.
Actually, where do we have Calvin going? Calvin Banks.
You had him going here to the Niners.
Yep, I thought he would have been here to the Niners, but I don't know if the Niners might go right now here. I don't know. Oh wow! I blame the Raiders. I blame the Raiders, and I'm gonna stick to that. We're gonna blame the Raiders until we figure out what's going on. Raiders took Chinty. Okay, the pick is in with the 49ers. Are you as a Saints fan? Are you satisfied with your pick? If you give me a scale of 1 through 10,
7.
7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah.
Is Shador drinking?
Is Shador what?
He was just. I think he was just drinking. He was in the camera talking, and he turned away and started drinking in the cup. I know Shador ain't drinking no drink right now.
I would be surprised if you were, but no.
Shador, please though.
So the Niners, you think is Will Johnson here, or?
I honestly don't know with the 49ers. I could be honest with you. What he talking about? They said I forgot the guy's name. I don't know why his name is slipping right now. The guy who's just on TV, the reporter for the NFL Heavy, but he said if the Steelers don't take Shador, he possibly might slip into the second round.
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility. Yeah. I mean, unless a team, again, if you're Cleveland, for example, do you want to trade up into the latter part of the first round for Shador. If the Giants could do that, that could be a spot potentially they could look to trade up as well. So, I don't put anything past, team trading up if a guy starts to fall. See the Niners. So you're saying Will Johnson here for the
wait. He said the pick. I didn't hear it.
No, he hasn't said it yet.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh snap! I was like, well, I didn't hear it.
No, he was talking about some other promo stuff.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the troops, man. And get to the
Mikael Williams from Georgia.
Mikael Williams?
Yep, from Georgia. Yep.
I mean, your boy gonna be gone soon.
Who's that?
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not getting any younger. Yeah, I think honestly the Falcons were hoping he would fall to them. Mikael Williams.
Yeah, I think the Falcons was. Yeah. When we look at our board, where did we have him going?
You had him going to Tampa.
Yep, Mikael Williams. Well, he went a little bit higher. Okay. I think I'm with you, Sean. The Raiders cooked our board. I'm blaming the Raiders for the rest of the night.
And, yeah, I am too. Because
I blame the Raiders. I think they shook up everything.
Yeah, I'm blaming them too. Jack wagons.
It's the Raider way to ruin stuff.
Oh. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Can't believe them idiots.
They supposed to let the Bears took Ginty, they supposed to took Johnson, but they said, hey, we were a better offense. I ain't trying to remake the Legion of Boom. Why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? Why would we do that? I'm trying to think now. The Cowboys fixing it. The Cowboy pick is in. And how they defense have been playing, especially secondary, I think Will Johnson might get picked. No, actually, maybe not because the run defense was terrible.
Yeah, I think I would say potentially linebacker here.
Or linebacker, yes. Or linebacker, yes.
I think you could see them go with the guy from Georgia.
You think with Jalen Walker here?
Jalen Walker, I think, could be a real possibility here for them.
Yeah, because you also do got to think about their run defense was terrible. And then also with their run defense being terrible, you could go D tackle linebacker, and they lost Dexter Lawrence too. So they might, I can see that. Imagine being a Dallas Cowboys fan. Jesus.
No, I will not imagine that.
The pick is in.
Oh, they took Tyler Booker. All right.
What?
Yes.
No way.
Yes. Look at our draft board. What I tell you? Did I tell you what I told you? I said they lost. Zach Martin retired.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to plug in that's a massive hole. When you think about the Cowboys, when they drafted Tyron Smith and they drafted Zach Martin and they drafted Frederick, the center, like that was what made their offensive line go. So
yep, Tyler Booker, you hit on the money on that one.
Yeah, so
you hit on the money on that one, Sean. You hit on the money on that one.
So I thought this would be his chance. I thought they'd probably trade back, but this is this is an A pick for me for the Cowboys. This makes too much sense. They've gotten their left side the last couple of years in the draft. Now you add this dude as right guard. They are rebuilding the foundation of what make the Cowboys, which is they have one of the best offensive lines in football. So this makes perfect sense to me. I think Tyler Booker could be an all-pro in 3 years. I think he's that good.
I think this fits in the Cowboys' dynamic of what they do because of they always had a good offensive line. That's what I would never deny about the Cowboys. I say the Cowboys trash. I think this is the trash ran organization, whatever. But one thing that you cannot deny, they're gonna sell tickets. They're gonna be in the media, every story, and the offensive line always gonna be good all the time. That's the only 3 guarantees that you're gonna get with the Cowboys all the time, all the time.
Yeah. But no, I think listen, I think this is a really good pick for the Cowboys. Again, just go back to their heyday in the 90s. Their offensive line was stacked.
Yeah.
Even in the mid 2000s, the mid 2010s, with Zeke and with Dak, for all the credit they got, it was their offensive line was stacked. So to me, this is no different.
This is a good pick. This is a good pick.
Again, thought they could have traded back and still gotten them, but hey, I'm not. This is a good pick.
Hey, young man, get your money. Young man, get your money.
Yeah.
But I give you credit, Sean. You called this pick. I think from every point that you made, it hit for the reason why they took this pick. It makes sense. I think. Shout out to the Cowboys. I ain't gonna say that too many times though. I ain't gonna say it too many times. I can't give them too much credit.
No, listen, it's and again, they have other needs. Obviously, running backs need. They have a needed receiver.
You get that late.
You can get that late. They could. Again, this is a deep running back class.
And
probably
you just pay CeeDee Lamb. Why would you pay a half for another receiver too?
Yeah, unless again it's an all-world receiver, right? So and there's just not no sight to these guys in this draft. But most of these guys just don't necessarily fit that mold in my view outside of T. McMillan.
I can't believe these Cowboys. That's the only thing that's the only thing Jerry Jones can do is like pick good offensive linemen. Besides that man can't do nothing else great at all. I'm sorry.
And I mean, if we're just being honest, SB, let's just look at the division. You got to deal with Jalen Carter for the next 10 years in that division. You better be right in the middle of that offensive line.
Yeah, are you right?
Because if not, it's going to be a long your quarterback's going to have some long days. They're going to have some long days anyway. But at least you got a guy you think could match up with Jalen Carter and with Jordan Davis and, those guys. And even, again, we talk about the Giants. The Giants have a good defensive line. Washington, they're trying to build a strong defensive line. So you have got to be able to, I know, again, redundancy, the trenches. Take care of the trenches.
Oh, wait, was that Jalen Miro?
They were showing Booker's run blocking ability.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about if you see when they hugged him before he went out.
Okay.
Miro going first round for him to be there.
I mean, not necessarily.
It might be a possibility though. I mean, talent wise, he could be a first round quarterback. The problem is when a team took their chance on Anthony Richardson last year and it didn't pan out, I think that's the only thing that's faulting him, which is not fair to him, but I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Because if Milroe can lock in on accuracy, I'm a Bama guy, so I watch him closely. If he lock in on the accuracy and make those 5-yard passes, those passes, because the winner was tighter. And then know when to use his legs and don't put himself at risk, I think he'd be outstanding as a pick. Because I think he's a great player, to be honest. But I understand how it works with those certain players. Milroe will only be great if he goes to the right situation. If he don't go to the right situation, it is what it is.
And I think, with him, it's mechanics, but it's footwork.
Yes, that too. Yes.
If he can clean that up and get that tighter, I think he can be a high level prospect. I think again, but unfortunately, what it comes down to is sometimes you get taxed for things that are beyond your control. how
That's
many
true.
teams are giving him the Anthony Richardson tax?
A lot of teams. A
You
lot
know,
of teams.
and so that to me, I think is a big part of, whether they'll admit it or not. Sometimes that's a part of the evaluation. And how many teams are looking at him and saying, "Hey, this guy has some of the qualities that Jalen Hurts had at Alabama."
Mhm.
And obviously, Jalen Hurts went to Oklahoma, and that was a big help, I think, for Jalen Hurts. But how many teams are looking at him and saying, "Hey, he could potentially be like the next Jalen Hurts or close to it"?
And
So
then, no, I
go
was
ahead.
saying not to cut you off, John, but and then they won't feel like they getting fool's gold because I think if you look at our last draft string, we talked about it when it comes to Anthony Richardson that he didn't have enough reps. But Anthony Richardson pulled a fool's gold by I'm going to throw the football at the ceiling of the stadium, so everybody be like, "Oh my God, this arm is so strong! Look what he did! He threw the ball at the top of the ceiling, and it's like 50 feet high when he did this. It's crazy, you know." And I think that it hurts. Oh, excuse me, yeah. Future people that's going in the draft with that same skill set, and I believe that if Anthony Richardson didn't exist last season, Milroe would undoubtedly be a first round pick, no question, no question. But it's the reality of the fact we gotta live in. But what was you saying? Though? I wasn't finish what you were saying.
No. I was just saying that it really comes down to, again, evaluation, but also do you have the structure that a player like Jalen Milroe needs to develop?
Yeah.
Because it's we can't always say, "Oh, the team drafted the wrong player." No, sometimes it's you didn't have the infrastructure to develop them. And we talk about quarterbacks in particular. That matters. When you draft a young quarterback, they have to be developed, and they need time to develop. And if you are willing to do that, by surrounding them with everything they need from stability in coaching, stability in the front office, stability at the ownership level, but also when you have them on a rookie deal, can you surround them with a roster that allows them to play complementary football early while they're developing? That matters to me as much as anything. Yeah, there's some special talents out there, but just like it's not 32 all-world starting quarterbacks, there aren't 32 all-world franchises. So that matters as much as anything to me.
Yeah. The pick is in too for Miami, Sean. They took Kenneth Grant, D tackle.
Wow, I mean, he was very high. We talked about, I think on Monday or Tuesday when we did the mock draft SB, that they hadn't replaced Christian Wilkins, who they lost to in free agency to the Raiders. So they needed to replace him. They missed
They
him last
placed him though.
bad, and they just did with
They
Kenneth
did.
Grant.
I don't think we had Kenneth Grant going in the first round, but
No, we didn't, because again, a lot of people had him as like a late first rounder at best, early second rounder. I think he was like the 37th, 38th prospect on a lot of people's boards. So that's why.
So
Yeah. Kind of surprised Will Johnson's still on the board here, though. Really am.
I'm surprised him, Will Johnson, and Stark still on the board. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, Starks, I'm not surprised at, because again, it's safety, right? You can. I think there's some guys that can play safety and will play start in the NFL that you get in the fifth round in this draft. I'm just saying a premium position, obviously, again, trenches, but also corner.
But you see the trenches get rewarded early because at the end of the day, if people don't want to acknowledge the fact of it, but the reality of the fact is when you have the better trenches now, I'm gonna say 8 times out of 10 with the area of football we in right now. 8 times out of 10, you're gonna win if your trenches is better. We just seen the Super Bowl champions literally win the Eagles off trenches alone. Off trenches alone. If ain't nothing that nobody can tell me that Jalen Hurts did this or the running back or AJ Brown or this. No, they won off trenches alone. Trenches first, and everybody else succeeded off the trenches. at the end of the day, trenches first before anything.
Yeah.
Salute SB and Sean. How do you like the Giants pick? We look back at the Giants pick. The Giants have picked Will Campbell. How you feel about Will Campbell, Sean? Real
Oh
quick.
no, the Giants picked Abdul Carter.
I'm sorry. What?
I'm sorry,
I'm
real
sorry.
quick. The Colts pick is in. They just took Tyler Warren. Another one we call in the in the mock draft.
I'm gonna crash out. Like, how? Like, why y'all taking all the good tight ends?
I mean, but I'll say this real quick, SB. There's some good tight ends in this draft that are not getting taken in the first round. Elijah Arroyo from Miami comes to mind. Terrence Ferguson comes to mind. Mitchell Evans from Notre Dame comes to mind. There's some tight ends that will play. Brenning Stool from Clemson comes to mind. So there's some good tight ends that will be taken in this draft who will play in the NFL. I didn't even mention Mason Taylor from LSU, son of Jason Taylor, who probably go in the second round potentially.
Yes.
There's some tight ends. Harold Fannin Jr. from Boston College, will be a guy. So, there's some good tight ends in this draft. I want to be mindful. It's not just a 2 tight end draft. There's some good tight ends in this draft.
The Bears and Raiders have ruined my draft for me right now. And I'm sorry about that, Blue Ball. I have picked the wrong person for that. But Abdul Carter is an outstanding pick for the Giants. I think they will go crazy on the offensive line. Did you find a wallet? No.
Yeah, Abdul Carter. Yeah, I mean, he's again, this is a league. I think edge rusher is the second most important position in the NFL, and pass rush in particular. So you can't have enough guys who do that well. Again, I think the Giants understand they got to get quarterbacks on the ground just in that division with the guys they got to see, 6 times a year in that division. You got to find a way to get those guys on the ground, and Abdul Carter can do that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so we did mock Tyler Warren to the Colts again. The Colts is all by Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
I know we can't see it, and it was covered by the banner, but
there
it is. Yeah, we mocked him to the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
This is a perfect sense pick. You need to make sure that you got everything right for this quote unquote quarterback competition you're going to be having between Anthony Richardson and Danny Pennies, and so this is a smart move. And I think again Anthony Richardson is going to be locked in coming into camp, knowing he's got to fight for his job. I think he's going to be locked in. You're going to see the best of Anthony Richardson, I believe.
So far, I'm trying to look at compare the draft. We only got the Saints. We got the Raiders wrong because the Raiders just being idiots. That's 1. The Saints wrong. That's 2. The Bears off of GP because they picked the wrong person. Who did the 49ers pick? The 49ers.
They took Mikael Williams.
Yep. Cowboys, you got that right, and we only got 5 wrong so far. But I still believe that the Raiders have changed the dynamic because if the Raiders would have picked Will, I think the Jets would have picked who they picked, the Panthers would have picked who they picked. I think the Saints would have moved a little bit different, but maybe because Cal Banks was still there, so they probably would have still took him. And then the Bears would have probably took Genty. And 49ers probably, yeah, so we would have still been a couple wrong, but wasn't that bad. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool so far. But we recap the picks so far, Sean. We are 14 picks in. Atlanta is still on the clock. They might try to trade that pick. We got Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Mason Graham, Ashton Genty, Mimbu, McMillan, Banks, Loveland, Williams, Booker, and Grant. Is it any and Warren and Warren and Tyler Warren? Is it any pick that you're shocked by so far, or do you think any pick is a mistake right now?
I won't say any pick's a mistake. I think this draft, every pick has made sense in some sort of way. It doesn't mean that I think, again, like the Raiders, I'm gonna keep screaming this, they have no corners.
They don't.
They have no one at corner. Nobody. So, again, I don't want to sound like Mel Kiper Jr. here, but Will Johnson just made too much sense for me when you have no corners. So, and I don't know if Will Johnson is going to be the next Darrelle Revis or anything like that, but the general thought is he is going to be a number one corner in the NFL. And again, for as much as we talk about the Eagles, and I know we don't want to make this an Eagles thing, we talk about the trenches. The Eagles were also very good on the back end at corner. They took Quinyon Mitchell last year, who was in the Defense of the Year rookie conversation. They took Cooper DeJean in the second round, who's their nickel corner. So, you need corners as well. The front end works with the back end and vice versa. So, to me, it just made sense for the Raiders to take a corner and take Will Johnson if he were available, which he was.
Okay, we still got the biggest names on the board right now: Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Walker, Will Johnson, Amari Hampton, and Josh Simmons from Mel Kiper's big board.
Yeah.
No team that's coming up don't need a quarterback. Falcons don't, Cardinals don't, Bengals don't.
Seahawks could be interesting.
Seahawks could be interesting.
But, and again, it would be what Atlanta did last year, albeit for less money. But, you sign Sam Darnold. Do you draft Shedeur Sanders and say, hey, listen, you're our quarterback in waiting. We're trying to win now with Sam Darnold, but we want to be prepared.
When he's ready to retire, yeah.
Yeah, now, again, Sam Darnold is 10 years younger than Kirk Cousins, so I don't know if they necessarily go that route. But, again, it's a possibility, I believe.
Yeah. The pick is in for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Where do you think we're going? Because it's not quarterback for sure.
Well, not quarterback. They don't need one. They got the best pure thrower of the football in last year's draft in Michael Penix. But no, I think, again, Will Johnson, it could be a possibility for them here. Shamar Stewart,
maybe.
Yeah, Shamar Stewart. Again, I don't know if you take start. You got Jesse Bates, obviously, at safety. I think you can find a safety later in this draft, potentially to complement to play next to Jesse Bates, who's an all-pro. But, is it, but I think, again, AJ Terrell is your number one corner. I think they need a complement to him. But also, again, defensive line for me is a big issue for them, not just defensive end, but also defensive tackle. I think they need to potentially invest in both here, and we'll see what they do.
Mm-hmm. Waiting to pick his in. They zoom in the camera. They're showing the crowd enough for me.
I'm on NFL Network, so
yeah. I watch it on the Direct TV app on my laptop.
No, all good. See, it looks like commissioners at the podium. Jalen Walker from Georgia. Listen, I'm saying this. He might be the steal. He might be the steal of the first round.
Yeah.
At this point.
The Georgia boys stay in Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia Bulldogs staying in Georgia. Mm-hmm.
Now it's going to be interesting again where do they line him up? Do they use him primarily in the middle and then use him as a sub rusher on third down, kind of like the Cowboys did with Michael Parsons his rookie year?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be interesting. I think he's more of a sideline to sideline guy, but obviously you want to take advantage of his ability to set the edge and rush the edge. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
He might be the steal of the draft. I have to agree with you on that because
Yeah, I think at this point I think he's still of the draft.
Because all right, big boy, you had him going 9 to the Saints.
Had him going 9.
You wanted him on the Saints, to your Saints.
Yeah, so, I would have. You would have seen me be very happy to have him in a Saints uniform.
He's there right in Atlanta. Ooh,
yeah,
come here, get to that quarterback.
Yeah. And again, I think you'll see them be multiple with him. You know, he'll line up in the middle, line up on the edge in certain formations. They'll move him around because he's that dynamic.
Good tackle, boy.
Yeah. Arizona's on the clock. Puts us about halfway through the first round.
Mm-hmm. Let me go pee real quick. But I think let's see what Arizona.
I think Arizona's definitely gotta consider how do they get to the quarterback. That's one of their biggest issues. They did not get to the quarterback enough last year. Again, you know, Jai Campbell from Alabama could be an option here for them. Mike Green from Marshall could be an option for here. Shamar Stewart, but I think they got to figure out how to get to the quarterback. That's going to be the key for Arizona. Pick is in for Arizona. We'll see in just a moment who they have selected. Had 2 first-round picks last year. Obviously took Marvin Harrison 4th and took Darius Robinson later in the draft, defensive end from Missouri.
The Cardinals ain't pick yet, right?
Pick is in, but we're waiting. Yeah, waiting for them to announce it.
Okay, cool.
As soon as this pick is announced, we were halfway through the first round of the draft.
Mm-hmm. What the Cardinals gonna do? Are we giving up on a Call of Duty player?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, not yet. I don't think so. Not yet.
No, and again,
Kyler Murray not that bad, actually.
no. And again, I don't think this is the year to give up on a quarterback that you
Next
have
year.
under contract. Next year might be a different conversation. But this year, no.
Next year, yeah. I'm gonna say next year it's a different combo. Cardinals, the pick is in.
Walter Dolan, defensive tackle from Ole Miss.
Okay, we're building the trenches up.
Yeah, Walter Nolan is a 3 technique. He's a guy who's going to line up and he is going to get up the field and penetrate the backfield. I mean, when I tell you he gets up the field, he gets up the field.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got great potential.
Tell me why he is in his background. First Ole Miss player take in the first round since 2017, Evan Ingram. I think he got too many YNs in his background. I was joking, but
okay. Right.
he in Texas. Arizona, the Cardinals, he ain't going too far from home.
Now, Cincinnati's on the clock.
If they don't take a defensive player, they should be ashamed. They don't take a defensive player, they should be ashamed.
You would think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the Bengals, so you just never know.
Wide receiver. Another wide receiver. They might take Amari Hampton right here. They need a running back.
I mean, they were good last year with Chase and I think Moss, before he went down, but I think running back will probably be on their board, but maybe much later in this draft.
This boy,
to your point, they have got to invest in that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Could Jahad Campbell be somebody for them here potentially? Will Johnson, again, corner, could be, I think, an option for them.
Yeah, I can agree.
And they got to figure out the Trey Henderson situation as well.
They showing Coach Brown like a mug.
I'm on NFL Network. I ain't seen them. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm on ESPN, so they showing Shador them crazy. And Travis done got picked. I wonder how they gonna react when Shiloh don't get picked. But I think Shiloh probably get a chance with the team, but Shiloh go undrafted.
I think he could go late in the 7th round, potentially. I mean, team that takes a chance on him.
I don't know because he didn't get invited to the comeback.
Yeah, but that don't mean anything. I mean, you've seen some guys don't get it. The combine. I'm not saying it's everything, but again, if a team has you on their board, especially that late in the 7th round, you didn't necessarily need to see a guy at the combine to take him in the 7th round.
Yeah, you just take who you want.
Yeah.
And after that team, he probably go whatever. Whoever takes Shador, they probably take him.
And again, they did have a pro day. They call it a showcase, but they did have a pro day. Teams were at the pro day. They might have talked to him. They might have, so which I'm sure they did. So, so you just never know.
$5 McValue meal. Nobody don't want no McDonald's. Halfway through the draft, though, Sean, let's recap, but we're gonna go in reverse. Obviously, the Arizona Cardinals just took Nolan, D tackle. The Falcons just took a Jay Walker, linebacker. The Colts just took Warren, tight end. Dolphins just took Grant, D tackle. Dallas Cowboys just took Booker, O lineman. The 49ers just took Williams, D end. The Bears took Loveland at tight end, which is still a shocker to me. Saints took Banks at offensive tackle. Carolina Panthers took McMillan at wide receiver. Jets took Mimbu at offensive tackle. Aston Genty at wide receiver. Graham at D tackle for the Browns. Will Campbell offensive tackle. Carter at DE. Travis Hunter at 2. And Ward at 1. What's your most shocking pick right now?
Honestly, I wouldn't say I'm shocked by any pick, but obviously the Raiders again was the pick that we didn't see. Again, not that you couldn't see Ashton Genty being taken by the Raiders, but I just thought they had just a greater need in running back. But that's probably the one for me.
Yeah. Okay, the Bengals picks in. Let's play high or low chance they take offensive player. I think it's a better chance they take an offensive player. I think so. The Bengals, it's the Bengals. Why not?
I mean, this is an offensive lineman, but again, there's no offensive lineman here that I say, oh yeah, you definitely take that guy at 17.
I feel bad for whoever they take a defense because he's gonna be by himself.
I mean, they got Trey Henderson, so you never know.
He's not gonna be there. They trade him. They should take the best defensive player that's available. That's how bad that defense is. I don't care if you got multiple people at this position. Take the best defensive player available.
No, absolutely.
All right, you gonna be ahead of me, Sean? So you can tell me who they take.
Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M.
I feel bad for Shamar. I feel so bad for Shamar.
Did we mock him here? Did we mock him here?
I think you might have had. That is a good pick, but I just feel bad for him because he is going to a bad situation.
I think you mocked him. I think you mocked him here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Shamar Stewart. Lock in. That boy, hey. So your boy be cooking sometimes. I mean, he's needed. That I won't deny. He's definitely needed. I just feel bad for him going here, but he's needed. Definitely had Shamar Stewart going to the Bengals.
Yeah, the big thing with Shamar Stewart concerns was he didn't have a lot of sacks at Texas A&M. The question was about, again, was it scheme? Was it production? I think more it was a scheme issue, what they were asking him to do. So he wasn't necessarily asked to go and get the quarterback traditionally. So could he be a guy that becomes a 10-sack, guy potentially?
Maybe.
Or, maybe. But, of course, that remains to be seen. And then obviously he's at the Bengals. So, we'll
Sean, this is the first time when the draft didn't happen where I haven't been like, man, y'all taking too crazy with this loan money. Y'all got to get used to y'all money before y'all batting all these chains. But wait, NIL set up, they already got it before. They already got it before the NIL.
Yeah, they're good. They're set.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're good.
Yeah. You know how crazy the NFL draft is. The NFL draft is going on, and we haven't mentioned once the playoff games tonight. 3 NBA playoff games tonight.
I do not care. I honestly, Sean, the older I have got, I realized to care about football more a little bit. I think football is Imagine, I started off as a basketball guy more than football. I care about football more. Every game matters in football. Basketball, it don't matter. Crazy about that, it's the first round of the playoffs. We got 2 series going on where it's probably going to be a sweep. No offense to your team. The Heat probably finna get swept. The Thunder probably finna get swept. So that's 2 games going on, or 2 series going on where we don't care about. We got the Knicks finna possibly beat the Knicks and the Pistons series is a good series going on. But yeah, besides that, no. Clippers and the Nuggets, I'll probably go. They said, "Hey, we can't get nobody." The Bengals better draft all defensive players unless it ain't offensive players.
Mm.
Second game in 2025 NFL draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Travis Hunter.
I tried with that pink suit on. People that comes from, at least he didn't go to the Raiders. I chat with him. Seahawks draft room. What we doing? Oh, the Seahawks pick is in, Sean.
Seahawks pick is in. I think I had him taking Matthew Golden.
Matthew. Yep, you definitely have to take a Matthew Golden. They did lose out on DK Metcalf. I can see a receiver being taken. Wait, oh no, wrong panel. The pick is in. The pick is in. I can see a receiver here. All right.
They took Gray Zabel, guard from North Dakota State.
Great table. Okay, I guess.
Again, I think they might have been on Tyler Booker as well, thinking he could have fallen to them. But Zabel's not a bad choice either.
I didn't think he was going to go this high, but Zabel was not a bad choice.
Yeah. It's some thought that even Zabel could even play center potentially in the NFL as well. So
I can see him doing it.
Yeah, so he's got that level he's got positional flexibility along the offensive line, but I think guard is probably where he may start, and he may end up moving to center at some point.
Gray Zabel.
I'm gonna step out on a limb and say the Bucks take Jahad Campbell.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, I think the Bucks. They're obviously Levante David's coming near the end of his career. Good person to mentor next to for Jahad Campbell would be Levante David, and so I think he makes a lot of sense for the Bucks at 19.
Mm-hmm. Michael Parsons on live too again to draft. I need to react to. I definitely got to see. I got to see Michael Parsons react to their pick. Did you think the Cowboys gonna pay Michael Parsons right off the bat or no?
I think they'll get it done.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. Campbell.
For the Bucks. You said Campbell?
Campbell would be a good pick.
Yeah, I think he would. I think he would. I think he just makes too much sense to me.
Yeah, it makes too much sense.
The Giants have said they're keeping Kayvon Thibodeau.
Okay.
Don't know if that makes sense, but okay.
Okay. Okay. I was looking at Michael Parsons here. Michael Parsons he said it was a good pick, but he was hoping they pick somebody on his side of the ball. That's all he said.
That's what the second round is for. What are we doing?
Hey, I have to tell you what he said. We still don't the Buccaneers. Okay, the pick is in now. Like, come on, Buccaneers. Like, you know who y'all picking. The pick is in. The pick is in.
Just an update. The Knicks won by 2 in overtime. Now lead the Detroit series 2-1. OKC and Memphis late in the first quarter. Memphis is up by 10.
They trying to compare Shador dropping in a draft to Aaron Rodgers when he dropped. I told you, Sean, this was gonna be the story of this.
Well, I mean, again, I think we're making too much of this because again, the question is seriously, and again, outside of Cleveland and maybe the Giants, how many teams pick him after 3 or after those
Needed a
2
quarterback.
needed a quarterback? I would venture to say none of them needed a quarterback.
None of them. Yeah.
So again, it's a nice narrative to say, "Oh, it's disrespectful," or he's being disrespected. Sometimes it's just
the situation.
What do teams need? What's the situation like? And again, Alex Smith was the first pick of that draft. Aaron Rodgers was picked in the 20s. Aaron Rodgers went to the better situation.
Yeah, he did with the Packers.
So, like, let's not go nuts or crazy over that. Wouldn't it be funny if the Bucks took Shador, though? I'm just kidding.
I mean,
it would be hilarious if they did.
I mean,
not, but it'd be hilarious.
I mean, I did say his comp, Big Baker. Who could teach him better, Big Baker?
The Bucks took Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver.
They took a wide receiver. Wow.
Yeah.
No, this was another surprise pick of the draft.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, obviously, he's a slot guy. He's a guy in the slot. They have their 2 outside guys with Godwin and Evans. You know, this is a guy who can work the slot really well. So
I mean, I did tell you when we did our mock draft, I would be shocked because remember we both said we would see Campbell here, but I think I picked who did I pick here, and I would say don't be shocked if the Buccaneers do something out of character, which they did, but I thought they were still gonna go defense with Mikal Williams, but they went out of character. They said, hey, we're gonna give Baker Mayfield another option, so to throw to. So
Yeah.
I still blame the Raiders for our board getting messed up. I think the Raiders messed up everything. So teams are moving different because of what the Raiders did.
Well, I mean, I think that, but also again, the teams are identifying needs and saying, "Hey, here's what we think we need." Again, the slot receiver for the Buccaneers, didn't seem like it was a huge need, but looking at their defense and again the fact that
Must be huge.
yeah, I mean, but again, you think about they're getting a little long in the tooth, defensively again, particularly at linebacker. I just thought Jahai Campbell made a lot of sense, but I mean, Ibuka again, I think he's going to be really good in the slot for them. I think he was going to be a potential choice for Denver, who's picking next as well. So,
Yeah, I wonder what Denver gonna do now.
Again, could this be a spot for Marion Hampton? Could this be a spot for Jahai Campbell? Linebacker was a draft need, a team need for them. So Jahai Campbell could be a spot for them. Matthew Golden, I think, could be in consideration for them here as well.
Yeah. Why does look one with Travis Hunter doing? I'm seeing more Travis Hunter videos.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be ironic though? They got Will Johnson and you got Pat Surtain on one side and Will Johnson on the other.
Yeah, that would be shocking. Why is look one? I'm still trying to figure out look man just in Travis Hunter draft draft party right now at the draft. Lil Wayne just be doing anything at this point.
I mean, obviously, this is an interesting spot because you made these next 3 picks after this Denver pick. So,
let's look at the picks that I had. I had Coast. No, I had what pick we on right now?
Yeah, we're on 20. I took 20. You had 21 through 23.
Well, obviously, Coast 11 does not go to the Broncos because he's gone. But I had Shador, Luther, and Jade, because I thought at least Will Johnson been gone. But if I had to repick now, looking at what's going on, I say Will probably be going to the Packers for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Broncos do.
Though, I'll tell you this though.
Campbell might go to the Chargers.
Well, I'll tell you this. Don't be surprised if Will Johnson ends up with the Steelers. Because if you're the Steelers, Shador is probably, if you don't pick him, unless the team trades up for him, he's probably going to fall out of the first round if a team doesn't trade up to get him. Because none of these teams, maybe the Rams, and I'm saying maybe the Rams just because, again, Stafford's not getting any younger. But for the most part, all these teams are pretty set. So, could you be, looking to move up early in the second round to try to get, a quarterback, or are you saying again with the Steelers are not going to make the mistake they made 3 years ago overdrafting Kenny Pickett. So if there's a player they have on their board above or higher than Shador Sanders that's still on the board when they come up to pick, you got to believe that's who they're taking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just don't.
In, Sean.
Pick is in. Okay. All right. Let's see.
Because the Broncos take. There's a lot of ways it could go. I mean, past the 10 with Will Johnson. Because Will Johnson copy is past the 10.
Yeah, again, could it be Campbell here? No linebacker was a need for them.
Or Campbell.
Yeah.
Campbell or Johnson, I see him pick right here.
Or, Starks, could be the pick here for them as well. Again, they didn't need to have a lot of needs on defense. Their needs were more playmakers on offense, but
Mm-hmm. Who was that right there? Greenwood, Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden.
yeah, you go, man.
See, the pick is in with Broncos. What we doing? What we doing, Broncos? Got your quarterback in Bo Nix. What you gonna do for him?
Jedi Barron.
Jedi Barron.
Yeah.
Wow, he got picked over Will Johnson.
I mean, unless there's some concerns about Will Johnson's injury, but
wow. I think Barron is nice. I'm not going to deny that, but
yeah, and Barron was the top DB in the country. He did win the Jim Thorpe Award, so that could be, something as well.
I had what did we have him going? I think I had him on the pick. I had him going to the Green Bay Packers. I had him the next corner taken off the board.
Yeah,
but yes, the Packers might be taking Will Johnson in. So Will Johnson to the Packers. Then.
Yeah, I think edge could also be on the table for them as well. I think they got to get more of an edge rush. But yeah, corner definitely is high on their priorities, I think, too.
Boom, good hit. Oh, I'm liking this pick as a Chargers fan, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Especially with us not having no good receivers. I'm liking this pick. Okay, let's see. This might be the Shador Sanders pick. Wow, Shador's still on the board. It's crazy. The pick is in, and Shador ain't pick up the phone, so I don't think Shador getting picked. My good friend is a Buccaneer. I just
Well,
texted him.
and again, they could have called him right after the Baron pick was made to say, "Hey,
Yeah.
we're taking you." So might not be
Yeah.
you know,
Leonard, this your friend for real?
huh? Say again.
I'm talking about Lee. Lee Come, my good friend.
Yes, yeah.
My boy, who's a Bears fan, just texted. He said, "If Green Bay get Golden or Hampton, I'm gonna flip my shit." SHIT. Let's see who the Steelers pick. The pick is in. Do you think the Shador or Will Johnson?
I mean, again, Campbell wouldn't shock me here either.
Yeah, Campbell. Yeah.
I think again they're looking at their defense. They got to get younger in some areas on the defensive side of the ball. TJ Watt is only in the last year of his deal. Do they go edge rusher here potentially?
Yeah. I don't think TJ Watt going. They're gonna pay that man. Let's see.
They took Derek Harmon, defensive tackle.
You're lying.
Yeah.
You're lying.
Yeah. And listen, there were a lot of teams very high on Derek Harmon.
Oh my God, they did take Shador? Oh,
yeah, no, listen.
No way.
No, listen. I told remember we said, SB, if they got a guy higher on their board than Shador, that's who they're taking. And so, again.
Wow. Shador might not be a first round pick.
And again, I think it's going to come down to a team like New York or Cleveland that says, hey, we want to trade back up to get you. But, sometimes it's not talent. Sometimes it's need and how teams, view you versus need.
What? How much does the Kenny Pickett trade up has to do with this, with them not getting Shador right here?
I mean, I don't want to say it has a lot to do with it, but I mean, if you think about how an organization is pragmatic, that's the Steelers. And so, and if their thing is, hey, listen, we don't think based on our board, and I want to keep in mind it's board, we have a need on our board for this position. Cameron Hayward's not getting any younger.
No.
Right. So someone like that who's, still playing at a high level, but he's not getting any younger. The Steelers, they tend to want to be out in front of that. Obviously, they didn't do that, with Big Ben, but it's a matter of they think this guy that's on the board is a player. And again, there were a lot of teams. There were people that thought Derek Harmon could go like in that 10 to 12 range. Like that's how good he is, and how high teams were on him. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me they took him, given that he's as talented as he is. Obviously, the Chargers are on the clock now, so I know you're waiting with.
Yeah, I'm waiting on this one.
Yeah, waiting with
the pick not in yet.
Yeah. It will be interesting though to see. I think for the Chargers, again where they had to again, do they go to the Michigan man here? Do they take Will Johnson potentially? I don't know if that's the biggest need, but again, where is he on their board? If they have him on the board at all. This is reported the Giants have been trying to trade to get back in the first round, in round one. So
okay, so they're trying to get Shador.
Maybe. Maybe, yeah. Maybe they trying to get Will Johnson. So you never know. I mean, a team, they rarely will put out who they're trying to get if they're trying to trade back
Well,
into
the
the first
biggest
round.
the biggest shocks for me, if I had to say, going at 21 picks in this draft, that Will Johnson and Shador Sanders are still on this board, and and Campbell and a wide receiver after McMullen is still on the board is crazy to me. That's I mean, the Buccaneers took the other guy from Ohio, but I could it's not the wide receivers when I said, but from Shador and Will Johnson for sure, I did not expect him to still be on the board by this point of time. By the Chargers pick. Thank God we don't need a quarterback, because I would have said thanks Shador now. Well, we are good. Justin Herbert is that deal. You got to give him an option.
Well, again, is Matthew Golden an option here for you? Because I think he's probably the only receiver left that I would even consider taking in the first round.
Yes.
You know, you did bring back Mike Williams, obviously.
Waste of time.
Well, you never know. Ladidi Mekonke, as substitute teacher likes to call him, had a good year last year. Obviously, you expect him to be better next year. But I think Matthew Golden again would make sense, just working the slot. Obviously, you lost Josh Palmer.
The Chargers were trying to trade this pick because it's 3 minutes in. We don't know what we're doing.
Well, no, I mean, again, they could be taking calls on it, or they could be taking calls on it. So that may be part of it, just taking calls on it.
Tell the Giants, give us at least like your first next year.
Yeah, and
second this year.
Yeah, and also, who was your draft comp for Shador?
I said Baker Mayfield, and his ceiling is like Drew Brees, maybe. I don't remember on top of it, but that's what I'm going with.
Yeah. Remember I said Geno Tagovailoa.
Geno Tagovailoa is crazy.
Yeah, but remember Geno Smith didn't go in the first round.
No, Geno didn't.
Yeah, Geno went in the second round. So
Wow.
Now, the other thing to watch, I think, too, obviously, with the picks coming up, I don't know why are your Chargers taking forever? Jim Harbaugh, get off that hip and let's go.
You know what happened? Loveland is gone. Loveland's supposed to be a Charger.
Oh, man. You had to trade up to get him. Obviously, he went 10.
Shador might go day 2. I ain't gonna lie. Because I don't see no other team let they trade up. Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Commanders, Lions, Ravens, Rams, Texans, Vikings, Packers, Chargers. None of them teams has left me the quarterback. So that means the Chargers are trying to trade. They talking. They trying to trade.
I mean, again, it's not. Maybe they're not trying to trade. Maybe they're just taking calls. Like teams are calling them, and they're having conversations. That's all. It doesn't take long to get the pick. It doesn't take long to get the pick in.
Too bad Travis Hunter ain't go to work like the Giants, so you could be like, "Hey, we got your boy with you." Jacksonville got Trevor Lawrence, so you can't do that.
Go beat Trevor Lawrence out.
I mean, he could. Okay, he go to Chargers pick. Still ain't pick yet, but if it don't spoil it, but I want. We trying to trade it. Mel Kiper loves Shador Sanders. I can tell you that, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, he did get Aaron Rodgers right, by the way, but I just said. I mean, nobody counted what he got wrong, but we just gonna point out what he got right. Oh my goodness! I don't think Shador taking it. Okay, the pick is there, Sean. Don't spoil it for them. I'm actually live. I'm gonna wait once.
Yeah, I won't say. I won't say anything. I won't say anything.
Lock in. This is gonna make or break me being a Chargers fan, right?
It's not. It's not. It's really not.
LT gone. LT long gone. I don't have to support this team no more. LT is
Yeah,
gone.
you sound like Rick Pitino. Larry
It
Bird's
is
not
what
walking
it
through that door. Kevin McHale's not walking through that door.
Hey man, stop talking, man. Get to the pick. Jeez. Maybe you want to talk your ear off. Come on, man. They don't take like Luther. They gonna take the pick. I'll pick. Watch.
You think Burden? You think Burden could be the pick too? Luther Burden.
We can get a wide. We can get a wide receiver later in this draft. They better not take no wide receiver. I mean, we did lose Asante Samuel Jr., Will Johnson.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Will Johnson could be picked. Now, again, the question to me is, medically for him.
Yeah, we do have an injury player history problem with us, so we gotta give him some weapons, though.
Yeah, I'll share that in a moment after this pick comes in.
Wait, what happened? Something happened?
You and I'll share it in a second.
Okay. All right. The pick is in. Oh God, you laugh. That's not good.
No. It's just a very surprising.
Amarion Hampton, running back. Okay. That is a hardball. That is a hardball type pick. That is a hardball type pick. Marion Hampton. That's. I don't know if I don't know how I feel about this one.
I'll tell you this.
He gonna be nice though. He gonna be nice. This is the hardball pick. That's telling me, hey, we still running this football.
Yeah.
Over anything. So it's not a bad pick. So I'm not sad at the pick.
All right, you got a mid.
My boy just texted me, said F us. He gonna be good. Yeah.
You Bears fan?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, but again, like you get Caleb Johnson in the second round, from Iowa. He's really good.
Everybody texts me like, "Oh snap! What a good pick." I think he's gonna be good here in the Chargers. And at least you got a coach who's gonna give you the chance.
Yeah, I mean, again, Najee Harris is there. I think they'll split carries, obviously. But Amarion Hampton, to me, he's Joe Mixon.
Yeah,
he's gonna be really good. So yeah.
This pick was supposed to be in Loveland, but they picked the next best thing that Harbaugh loved. And I can tell how long it took for us to make this pick where it's like, hey, this is the guy we're gonna take, but let's try to make a trade because I feel like we could get him later. And nobody gave us the offer that we want. So we just took the guy.
Yeah. All right.
I feel like we was gonna take him regardless.
Yeah, Green Bay, let's not be slow about this. Just take Will Johnson and let's go.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people out there. Woo. Were they Packers? Cheeseheads. I mean, Will Johnson. I mean, what was Will Johnson injury anyway?
I think it was a hip injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it had to be bad because ain't no way.
Hold on, let me just verify. Oh, it's a knee issue. Saying it's a knee issue is hurting his draft stock.
Yeah, Matt said hamstring injury is hurting his draft stock. I looked up. And I see the knee too. Yeah, but I'm sorry. A knee issue or not. Unless that knee issue has been like a consistent thing, which it has not been with him.
Well, apparently he's had multiple injury issues.
Right.
So yeah, so if that's the case, I mean, you can understand why he may be falling if your team says, "Hey, we can't invest a first rounder on him, maybe a second rounder." But
Because he a first round talent. I'm sorry.
yeah, but again, but the best ability is
Availability.
So if the injury thing is real with him, you can understand why teams may say we're just not willing to make that move. Now, there's a team that's picking last in this particular draft, in this last particular round, that may very well take him, and it'll be a steal if he's healthy.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait till we had a conversations during the season, like who they picked over who and was it really worth it?
yeah, I mean I'll say this. Obviously, we're instant gratification society, so we want who we pick to be the best pick ever right away. But sometimes the best pick is the guy that 3, 4, 5 years down the line is like, oh, this guy was definitely worth it. So it remains to be seen. And a lot of times too, you think about it again, situation, where did the guy go? Did he get the opportunity with that coaching staff, or did a new coaching staff come in and get this guy the opportunity? So I think it's a lot of things that factor into that, but we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. Packers taking forever with they pick. Yeah, they
Again, probably getting calls.
It's the Giants.
Yeah, and again, Minnesota being on the clock next, they're the team I think is very likely to trade out of this pick. I just got a feeling they could trade out of this pick.
Sean, it's just been announced too. I know we talking NFL, but NBA. Evan Mobley has been announced as the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, again, I thought it was going to either be him or Dyson Daniels, but it's good with Evan Mobley. I'm good with Evan Mobley. Definitely good with Evan Mobley.
I like the Evan Mobley one for sure. Two minutes in, I'm tired. I can't wait till this pick it up. I don't want to see no Packers. Nothing. I do not rock with them, bro. I do not, bro. That's the Chicago with me. I do not like the Packers, bro.
Yeah. Well,
any other team in the conference, I'm cool with. Lions, I'm cool. Vikings, I'm cool with. Packers, and my favorite color, green. The only green I don't like is Packers green. Anything with that green and that cheese, I'm not rocking with.
Yeah.
The later picks, they take it so long. Like, make them y'all mad.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that. I think it's just, again, they're getting calls.
Yeah, it got to be that. Yeah.
They're getting calls. Like, again, teams, you start getting later in the first round, teams that's high in the second round are trying to call and see if they can trade up late into the first round. So that's why. Again, I think Minnesota is probably a team to watch because, again, they don't have a lot of picks. Mm-hmm. So, are they going to be willing to drop from 24 for a team to move up?
Get multiple picks, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, pick is in for the Packers.
The pick is in.
Did you get rid of the chime?
Huh?
Did you get rid of the chime?
What chime?
The draft chime. Did you get rid of it?
Oh no, I got the sound. No, I still got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I still got it. Hold on, wait. Take the loop off.
Okay. All right.
This has been locked in. I ain't gonna hold you because
no, all good. All good. Understood.
See what he was gonna do. Okay, the pick is in.
Yeah, and because the draft's in Green Bay, they got to build it up because there's a lot of Green Bay Packer fans out there, of course, and
Nothing else to do out there but to just be here. Probably the whole town out there right there.
Well, Applebee's.
And Applebee's and a cheese fondue fountain or something weird they got going on, like package tape. Like, yeah, man. Like, nobody cares. Like, nobody don't care. Only thing I'll rock with the Packers is Jaden Reed. That's it. And he family. That's it.
Yeah.
He's from the side of the town where I'm from. Besides that, I don't not like nothing about the Packers. Let's see. Oh my God.
All right, Mark Murphy, hurry up. Announce the pick.
Mark Murphy just started talking on my screen. He hugging the commissioner and stuff.
Yeah, ain't making time for that. Hurry up, man.
Nobody cares about the atmosphere, Mr. Murphy. Say the pick. Oh my God, now I gotta be the best draft. Hush. No, he not. Okay. The Packers select. Come on, man. Say the pick.
All right, we get it. Y'all in Green Bay, y'all hype. Let's
Y'all the
get the pick on.
community old team. Like, come on. Nobody don't care. I do not care that Joe from down the street owns the 1% of the team. The 23rd pick, they select.
Taking a wide receiver. It took Matthew Golden from Texas.
Wow. Wow. What's that injury got to be bad?
Well, I don't think it's bad. It's just, again, can he stay on the field?
Yeah.
And, and you think about it. I mean, obviously, they like Jaden. They like Wicks. They like Dobbs. But, they don't really have that one guy that, I think even the Eagles said when they played him, like, they don't have one guy that scares you. So maybe they think Matthew Golden could be that. I think he's more of a slot guy, but maybe they see that for him. Again, Packers don't take receivers in the first round. So, the fact they did is
Right.
I'm trying to think.
And I don't really think receivers really was something that like they needed. I think they got a good core of young receivers. I think if anything, they need a vet receiver, a guy who you get you a play on third down. So I didn't think like they needed a younger receiver. That's just me. I think it was other needs they could have went through, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That's just me.
Yeah. And again, like you say, the Will Johnson injury concerns got to be big.
Yeah.
Again, especially with the Jair Alexander situation really kind of being up in the air. It looks like they may try to trade him, but yeah.
The pick is in.
Yeah. For Vikings.
I think Will Johnson go right here to the Vikings.
No, I think it's Starks.
Or Starks. Or Starks. I'm if anything, if all else fails, I'm going defensive pick. I'm thinking the defensive pick.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if they took Shador? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
that would be absolutely hilarious. they traded up for JJ McCarthy. It'd be hilarious if they took Shador.
I mean, nobody expects Shador to still be here.
Well, maybe some. I think some teams did. That's the thing. I think it wasn't a given that he was going to be taken.
What team left? You got the Vikings.
You got the
If you don't,
Texans. You got the Rams.
After this pick, if the Rams don't take him, he's going second round. Unless somebody trades him.
Unless somebody trades up for him.
Unless somebody trades him.
And again, you know, a team like the Eagles at 32, if a team, you know, the Eagles said they didn't have 32 first-round grades on players. So if the guy they want at 32 isn't available, they're going to probably trade out of that spot.
Yeah.
You know? Buffalo, they are a team that they don't mind trading out of the first round. They did it last year. So they could trade out of that spot, you know. Baltimore is another team. They tend to like to accumulate picks, you know, if they can. I think they'll probably stay, depending on, again, who they have on their board. But, you know, so it's still a chance for Shador, but, you know, it's getting long in the evening.
We got a couple more picks to go.
Yeah. What you want to do if you Shador is, you know, say tomorrow, listen, we ain't gonna get all dressed up. We're gonna have a barbecue. And then, you know, if I get that call tomorrow, we'll just, you know, celebrate during the barbecue.
You gotta be like how the other players be. I was in the gym when I got that call. I was pissed off. I was in the gym. That's how you gotta make the narrative be. So it look a little better when you go crazy and be a good player.
Or you could be like Joe Thomas, and he was fishing when he got drafted. You know, like he wasn't even thinking about the draft. He was out fishing with his dad. Like, okay, I get drafted when I get drafted. I'm not tripping.
Yeah, but no, Shador got to flex the AP. It's perfect timing. So you gotta be. The Vikings select Shador Sanders. JJ McCarthy, your job is cooked.
And again, here's the thing about the Rams. What if the Rams have Jackson Dart higher on their board?
Yeah, there's a possibility too.
Because there were some guys that were saying, you know, during the, you know, it's a lot of talk during the process, but there were some guys saying like, hey, Jackson Dart could be higher on the board than Shador.
Which is wild to me. I'm sorry.
I mean, again,
everybody's standing up and clapping, so they got the pick they wanted.
Who in the Vikings war room?
Packers.
Oh, the Packers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm really surprised Minnesota didn't look to trade out of this pick, but we'll see.
Probably couldn't. They probably didn't get what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, that may be true too, but yeah, they just don't have a lot of picks. That's all.
Let's see, Vikings.
Donovan Jackson, guard from Ohio State. Guard was a need for them.
People don't get excited for them O-line picks, but the O-line picks is what makes the difference, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know. See, T.Y. said, I thought the 49ers was taking him or Miami with their quarterback situation. Yeah, the Niners, they're going to pay Brock Purdy.
They're paying Brock Purdy.
Yeah, they've already said that, and Miami just paid Tua. So, yeah, I just didn't see that still situation for him.
And then only other team Brock Purdy wanted to go to was it's a trade, Sean. The New York Giants just traded in over 25.
They traded up with the Texans. Okay.
The New York Giants. Oh, Shador Sanders going to the Giants.
You got to think so. Unless they pull the okie doke
and pick Jackson Dart. If they traded up for Jackson Dart,
Well, no, I mean, listen, they worked out all those guys: Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Shador. They worked them all out. So, you know,
Shador did want to go to the Giants anyway, though. It has been a trade. There has been a trade, guys. Let's see. Shador going to New York. This is a big market. Shador fit this big market. Yeah, they need saving since it's either him or Jackson Dart.
so the Texans are getting $34.99 and a future third-round pick.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Texans, again, once Walter Nolan went off the board, once Harmon went off the board, those offensive linemen went off the board, they were probably going to be a thing for them to stay where they were, and look back. That's a pretty stacked roster, but obviously defensive tackle and offensive line, probably their biggest needs. Receiver, I know receiver probably later in the draft for them. So,
Yeah. I would say Matthew Golden doing too much, but I realized he's in Green Bay. It's in the draft is in Wisconsin, so in Green Bay, so that's why he's like doing all that.
Yeah. That's why he was doing all that.
Because I'm sure, like, man, if you don't sit there, okay, you got picked by the Packers, nobody cares. But this is like in Green Bay, like the biggest thing going on all year. So, it's nothing else that's there to do. So, you got to enjoy the moment because after this, it's nothing. It's nothing to do. It's nothing. It's over. No parties, no barbecues, no nothing. It's over. It's nothing fun to do. Just eat some cheese fries and call it one, or just eat cheese. That's it in general. But the Giants, the pick is in, Sean. The pick is in. I'm gonna lock in and say this is either Shador Sanders or Jackson Dart. I'll be the locking in Shador or Jackson Dart. It's a quarterback for sure. Now, if you trade up and not get a quarterback, it's crazy to me.
Well, no, again, there's some guys on the board that, again, they may have higher than Shador Sanders, so they could be trading Johnson? Up. Yeah, I don't know if that's a massive need for them necessarily, but again,
who else available? That's a need
for the Giants.
Yes.
Hold on a second. Sorry. They could be trading up for a defensive tackle.
Cool.
Tyleik Williams from Ohio State could be possible for them here. I know, again, I think he's probably more of an early second round pick, but offensive tackle could be, could they look at Josh Simmons potentially? So
it could be Josh Simmons is there still. Campbell got picked, right?
No.
Campbell ain't get picked yet either. It's crazy. Look, I'll be shocked if the Ravens take Campbell. Remember, I called that one. I can see you Ravens taking it. Okay, the pick is the end. Come on, commercial break. I don't not care about the Phillies and the Cubs right now. It's like 20 games in the MLB season. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Shador's. I don't see nobody moving or celebrating in Shador camp, so. I think, bro, if they take Jackson Dart, that'll be game changing with what they will be saying in the news tomorrow. The sports media world is hoping that Jackson Dart is taken right here. over Shedeur. So they can go crazy. Why Shedeur didn't get picked in the first round? What's going on? If they hating on him because of Dion, it's gonna be a whole different conversation. Let's go. All right, the pick is in, Sean. The commissioner taking forever. The Giants. What you trade up for? Russell Wilson, famous Jameis. Okay, you traded.
Jackson Dart.
You're lying.
Nope.
You're lying.
No.
You're lying.
Nope.
You're lying. Jackson Dart. Oh my God, the disrespect is your door.
Yeah, I told you. Listen, I told you, man. There were teams that had him higher as the second-rated quarterback in this draft.
Nah. We disrespecting Shedeur right now, Sean.
No,
I mean, Sean, we wilding now.
SB. Hold on. Let's just be objective here for a second. It is all about evaluation. 32 teams evaluate these players. Some teams have certain players higher in their evaluation than others. That is the nature of evaluation. It's not one evaluation for every single player. Like, that's what I think people, really got to know and understand. For Jackson Dart, again, he's a little more athletic, got a little bit bigger arm. That I think may be more appealing to the Giants than what Shedeur brings. Shedeur is not the greatest athlete, but it's not that Shedeur can't be a good quarterback. He just may not be necessarily what the Giants, want.
But the Giants had to trade up to get Jackson Dart.
Yeah, but again, there was a thought, and again, I think the reason why they traded up was because there was some thought that the Rams could be in on Jackson Dart. Right. So, again, sometimes it's not that you want a player, is that, hey, this other team may want this player as well. We got to jump up ahead of them to get them. We talked about the Rams being in a quarterback market in this draft just because of the age of Stafford. It makes sense to me that if you're the Giants and you said, hey, we think very well or very true that, there's going to be a possibility for us to take, a quarterback in this Jackson Dart, you got to jump up, and that's what they did. Now, to me, their quarterback room is very crowded now. I think this potentially puts someone like Jameis Winston on the trade block.
Yes.
But you would think.
Did Atlanta trade for this 26th pick?
Hold on, let's see.
Because say Atlanta Falcons on the clock. I thought I had the Rams right here on my draft thing.
Yeah, Rams were, but let's see if they traded. Let's see if it was a trade made. And again, if the Rams are trading back, that kind of tells me I think they were probably looking at Jackson Dart.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, so yeah, the Falcons did trade up.
Yep. So that means, yep, you're right. They wanted Jackson Dart. Wow, Shedeur is not going to be a first-round pick.
I mean, the Falcons could. I'm just kidding.
Nah, they got Michael Penix. It's over with.
Yeah, that's hilarious. No, that'd be hilarious. You got to think edge rusher here for the Falcons. Definitely, or defensive line to me here for the Falcons seems to make the most sense.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they traded their first round pick next year. Oh, Falcons traded their first round pick next year.
Who was here worth trading your first round pick next year?
Well, I mean, again, there's some guys still on this board. Again, Jahai Campbell's still on the board.
Yeah.
Will Johnson's still on the board. Again, I got to think it's defensive line here. Defensive end. Is it Pierce from Tennessee? Potentially. Is it Starks here at safety? Because they say, hey, we want to put Starks next to Jesse Bates. So we'll see. This is going to be interesting. I got to think it's on the defensive side of the ball, though, obviously.
I will hope it's on defensive side of the ball because the defense is not good last year.
Yeah, their big issue. They just didn't get much pass rush last year.
Yeah, the Rams. They want Jackson Dart.
Yeah, they took James Pierce from Tennessee.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I'll tell you this: Louis Riddick made a good comparison for James Pierce. He said, "The freak, Javon Curse."
Ooh. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Pierce is going to Atlanta.
Yeah, so I mean, again, big issue with them. Couldn't get to the quarterback last year. Didn't get much pass rush last year. You look at what they've done, with these two picks, Jalen Walker and obviously Pierce. They're trying to be much better defensively going into next season to complement their offense.
Hey, Sean, I called it during our draft. Right here. Where's that? Ravens, Campbell to the Ravens right now. I'm calling it.
You calling it now?
Calling it now. Campbell to the Ravens right now. Add to that linebacker group. Because when Roquan is out, this team at linebacker play soft. They play terrible. The defense don't look the same. With Campbell still being here on the board, I'm calling it right now. Campbell to the Ravens.
I'm telling you, when the team trades their first round pick, particularly, to move up late in the first round, that team better be a playoff team next year. The Falcons better be a playoff team next year.
Yeah, they have no choice but to be.
Yeah, they better be a playoff team. But yeah, I think again the Rams trading the pick to me tells me they were absolutely in on Jackson Dart. I gotta believe they were taking Jackson Dart.
Mm-hmm. This dude a freak though. Pierce, he's 6'5", fast, strong. Boom! Yeah, I ain't Pierce. This is a good pick for where you got it from.
Well, hey, well, never mind. I ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I don't say there's one more team still picking that could take Shedeur Sanders.
What are you thinking?
How about Detroit?
Nah.
No, I'm saying, think about it. Golf.
Oh no, I'm listening. My daughter, right? But I'm listening.
Okay, no, you're fine. But think about golf. Right? Like golf is,
Golf is gone.
But again, you're kind of hedging your bet and saying, hey, we just getting ready for the future. Not that they ready to move on from, Jared Goff, but just, getting ready for the future. Again, similar to Jordan Love, and other situations where you took a quarterback when you had an older guy, could potentially happen here.
It could potentially happen. All right, dude, I love you. Go to bed, mom. Okay, throw it in the garbage bin. All right, I love you. Go to bed. Close that door. Thank you. Pain in my ass. but no, I could definitely see it possibly happen with Detroit because Jared Goff. How many years do you really expect in Jared Goff?
Right, and again, sometimes, I don't say sometimes. I think the best time to take a quarterback is when you don't need one.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Ravens need to take Lamar Jackson, or was it, hey, we think this guy got something,
guy.
and we got Joe, we got Joe Flacco, and if we're gonna run with Joe Flacco for a year or two, and they end up shifting to Lamar, halfway through his rookie season, but. Again, best time to take a quarterback is when you don't have to take one.
Have to, yeah. I wonder what Prime probably you already know, son. They only doing that because they don't like Prime. But you the one. I mean, Prime probably not going crazy. Son, you would have been drafted number 2 for sure. But your name's Sanders, so you know they're gonna hate because you're Prime Junior. But man, the Ravens pick is in. I'm going all in on Campbell
You're
right here.
going on Campbell here.
I'm going on Campbell here.
I might push the Will Johnson agenda here.
I mean, they actually, if you ask for team needs, I think Will Johnson is like perfect for you right here.
Well, they took Nate Wiggins last year, corner.
How that worked out?
And they still got he's a rookie, obviously, and then they took, still have Marlon Humphrey as well. Starks, I think, could be here for them as well. When you talk about Kyle Hamilton, that safety combo of Kyle Hamilton and Malachi Starks could be exciting, as well. Got to think it's on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think they're taking in an offensive player here, but
yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, but
who is our offense that's available right now for them to take?
I mean,
that's
you
worth
still got
that pick.
Yeah, you still got Burden, who again I don't think that's a need for them. They I don't think receivers a massive need for them. I think they could take a receiver later in the draft, but I don't think it's a massive need. Again, I think secondary and I think linebacker could be an option for him. Edge could be an option. Could it be Ezeriku from Boston College?
Could be that too.
And again with the Ravens, one thing I say about the Ravens, whoever they draft, you trust they know what they're doing, generally speaking. So it's like if they're taking that player, it's like, hey, this is what it is.
The pick is in. Oh man, stop showing Packer fans. Nobody care about them. We really don't. Like, I don't want to see another Packer fan the rest of the stream. Show them tomorrow. Show the Ravens fans. It's the Ravens pick. Why are we seeing Packer fans?
Malachi Starks.
Woo! What a pick! What a pick! That's a great pick.
That's the Ravens.
A great pick.
That's the Ravens. That's the Ravens.
Great pick, bro.
That's a man.
Hamilton. A+.
Man.
A+ pick.
Yeah.
A+ pick, bro.
Oh, he would have white girl. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. My fault. I burned that out.
Dr. Umar, save him.
Say Umar. All right,
Dr. Umar.
Y'all go learn today. No, I'm just kidding.
You going to Baltimore, bro? You gotta let that snow bunny go. Snow bunnies never. Black queens forever. Snow bunnies never. Black queens forever. Dr. Umar, save him.
They just
Dr. Umar.
They just grabbed Cedric Daniels, season 3 through 5. No, listen. I mean, again, I think they're. I mean, hey, listen, it's a great pick. It's a great pick.
A+ pick. This might be the best pick in the drafts right here.
I mean, again, just thinking about, that he could have gone much higher. I think you had
gone way higher.
Well, I mean, again, boards, right? But again, I think it's one of those things where it's like, I thought Kyle Hamilton could have gone in the top 5. He was that dynamic. But again, teams let the Ravens. This is what the Ravens do every year. It's like, okay, we're just gonna sit. We're just gonna wait. But if I'm a Ravens fan,
we'll see. Tiffy, you're not happy with. You gotta start. You're not happy with this pick. This pick is a good pick.
Yeah. No, Malachi Starks. He is the prototype. When you talk, because again, how they like to use Kyle Hamilton, they like to bring him down, move him all over the field. Malachi Starks, he's a sideline center fielder. He is, he is going to add to that Ravens tradition. I firmly believe it. I think again,
the secondary not getting no NOs too. He gonna get them. He gonna get them balls. No deal.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, and you know one of the reasons why he's excited, not just because he got drafted, but where he's going.
He went to Baltimore, a
Yeah.
winning team.
Yeah.
That man hugging the commissioner for dear life. He didn't want to let him go. I don't blame you, young man. Let's go, Malachi. Let's go, dog.
Yeah. I think quietly there was another team, another bird team that was hoping he was going to fall to them, but it didn't happen.
Is it still in the draft?
Yes.
The Eagles? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Eagles definitely. If he would have dropped the Eagles, I would have said the Eagles cheat.
Yeah. And again, you know, the Eagles said they didn't have 32 first-round grades. So
look at their draft board behind you. Said they're round 1, 2, 3. Look how many names they got on the board for each round. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great pick. This is a great pick.
Bro, that man said, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. This is a great pick. Yeah.
That man picked the commissioner up.
He you know, Malachi Starks is like a football name, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's, you know, I don't want to, you know, like fill out his resume for him, but it just feel like that name, he was like,
that sounds like a Hall of Fame defensive player. It feels like it belongs in the Hall of Fame. It sounds, you know, somebody got them football names. It sounds like that type of name.
Yeah. Yeah, playmakers. I mean, it's just, again, this is what the Ravens do. Like, I mean, it's like, all right, man.
Let's see. That blue mustache is crazy. I'm happy that Detroit fans actually can get to show themselves in the light of day, because it's been dark for a couple of years, for a while. So, you know, they finally actually like, yay, I'm a Lions fan. At first, you know, it was hard to find some of them. You know, they was in hiding for a couple of years, but I'm actually happy that the Lions fans are like a thing now. You know, it feels. I'm happy for them. The feeling is good. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That's one of the best picks that's been picked right now for me personally. This Starks pick was the A plus. That's, I won't say my first A plus pick when I go back and really like analyze it, but that's definitely a plus. Aiden Hutchinson led the team with sacks. I wonder where they go here. What you thinking, Sean? Shador Sanders not playing. Shador not getting picked in the first round. I'm already accepting it.
Yeah, again, unless the team trades up with, you know, one of these last teams, right? Tyreek Williams, Ohio State. Yeah, this makes sense. Trench,
yep.
Yeah, Tyreek Williams, yeah. I thought he could have fallen in the top of the second round, but, you know, again, the trenches.
Trenches. Hey, look, if you don't know what you're gonna go, you gotta go trenches.
Yeah.
You gotta go trenches. My phone, let me take my boy to the Detroit Fair and see what he's feeling about this pick. He moving on these highlights. He said not a fan, but he said I trust Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the Trents in the first round.
Washington is on the clock. Where do you think they go here?
That's hitting Shador that he's not getting picked in the first round.
Again, I think it's, does Cleveland say, hey, we want to trade up to the last pick in the second round? Or last pick in the first round, to get him. Don't put that out of the realm of possibility.
It is definitely a possibility, but I doubt it.
Well, I mean, again, it's Cleveland, right? Cleveland could very well say, hey, we think at the end of the first round, this is worth doing. Or they're calling Atlanta about Kirk Cousins.
My boy just texted to the Lions fan. He says, no way Shador now get picked in the first round, right? I said, yeah, it might be over with for Shador.
Yeah, and again, I want to keep. I know people saying it's a slight. Geno Smith didn't get picked in the first round,
and Geno Smith was nice in college,
right? So sometimes you just don't get picked.
Yeah.
Geno Smith got picked in the second round. It's not a slight, and he, obviously Geno had a tough start to his career with the Jets, but he's had a good career, resurgent career over the last few years. So, to me, it's not about when Shador gets picked; it's where.
Yeah, where? Yeah. Now it's definitely about where.
Yeah.
Because, okay, I'm trying to see can I see the second round? Oh, well, the crazy part about it is Cleveland got the first pick of the second round.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see Cleveland.
Yeah,
It goes Cleveland, Texans, Titans, Cleveland, Raiders, Patriots, Bears, Saints, Bears, is that the Jets, 49ers. So if Cleveland pick them first within the next round, it'd be as cool, unless they just trade up to get them.
Right.
And 32, swap picks, trade the 32nd, the 33rd for the 32nd and the 7th or something, nothing crazy. A player that you just want to get rid of, contract reason, go get Shador in the end of the first round.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference between 32 and 33 is the 5th-year option.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So, it comes down to, again, Lamar was the 32nd pick of the draft, last pick of the first round. Mm-hmm. They traded up to get him. So it's possible a team like Cleveland, the Saints, I'm not counting them out of this equation as well. I don't think there's any other team where we just say, yeah, this team absolutely should be trading up for Shador. I don't know. And well, here's the other thing too. If you're Pittsburgh and you say, hey, we're willing to move, 83 in our future first to move up to 32 to get, Shador.
I think it ain't worth it at that point if you ain't get it then. No, because they too far down.
Well, I mean, again, so that what it comes down to is, are they willing to trade their future first for Shador? Because again, 83, you're not jumping just from 83. Moving up from 83 to 32 is going to require that future first round pick.
No, you're right. Notable addition for the Commanders: wide receiver Deebo Samuel, offensive tackle Larry Tunsil, D tackle Jonathan Kinlaw, and safety Will Harris. Yeah, they definitely, the Commanders buffed up. I'm not gonna lie. Mike Green with the edge could be a possibility.
Could be Campbell here too. And you think about Jahad Campbell, obviously Bobby Wagner's not getting any younger. Could it be Jahad Campbell here?
Mm-hmm. That's the pick is in.
Josh Connerly, tackle from Oregon.
Buff that, take that quarterback.
Well, again, you got to imagine he probably start on the right side. Obviously with Tunsil on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
I heard some teams that were potentially interested in him at a guard as well.
Yeah.
So could they move him inside? A guard. I think that also could be on the table as well.
That man you gotta protect that J-Day. You gotta protect that asset. You got a quarterback now. You gotta protect him.
Yeah.
Trenches in the first round. I never say you wrong for taking trenches in the first round.
Right.
Oregon, let's go.
Yeah, Buffalo, KC, and Philly are the last three picks, last three teams picking.
That was on Abdul Carter. Okay. No, that man might be a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was nice.
He only allowed 2 sacks in his career.
In 3 years?
Yeah, in college, 3 years.
3 years. That's outstanding. Yeah, the question, when did the sacks come? Was it early in his career? That's the real question. Was it early or late?
I mean, 2 sacks and over 1,000 snaps. That's a pretty doggone good ratio.
That's more than good. Hey, Jay Davis ain't got nothing to worry about. Ain't nobody touching that, man.
Yeah.
The Commanders, that's a good pick by the Commanders. Bills on the clock. Where you go, Bills? I'm thinking. I don't know who's still available.
I mean, Campbell's available. Will Johnson's available. Nick Eamon-Warry, the safety from
You think they go defense here?
The Bills?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think as a Ruku, I think that's who we mock to the edge from Boston College. I think he could be in consideration here. I know they obviously they signed Bosa, but Bosa's only on a 1-year deal. They did extend Greg Rousseau, but obviously when you think about Sean McDermott and that defense, that defense is built to get pressure with the front four. So, you can't ever have enough assets there. But again, I think Campbell could be in play here for them as well.
Campbell might be a good pick. Pick is in.
Yeah, Eamon-Warry again from South Carolina could be the pick too. I think it's defense, definitely.
Definitely defense. I think the last 3 picks is all gonna be defense.
Yeah, I would think so.
I can't see no other way it's going. Hey man, my boy Shador not getting picked in the first round. It's crazy. Oh, Ja exit the last game with a scary fall. Ja got hurt again. Dang, man. Shador, I'm trying to figure. Wow. That's crazy.
Packers had not drafted a wide receiver in the first round since 2002.
Okay. Hey, the memes is crazy. Hey, they said so. The dude It take 2 seconds, Sean. I'm actually gonna send it to your phone just so you can watch. I think you got Facebook, so you can be able to watch this.
No, I don't have Facebook.
Tough. I'm gonna have to find a way to save it. I already sent it to you, but it was the meme said from the who the Cowboys picked again.
Tyler Booker.
Tyler Booker, and they was like, your reaction to knowing that you got February's off for the rest of the next 10 years. They had him running out for his draft.
Oh boy.
Okay, Tommy, that was the pick, man. All right, Tommy, pull up there. You could have moved the mic down, Ross Goodell. God damn.
He did.
Late. Jeez.
Bills took Maxwell Harrison, the cornerback from Kentucky.
Will Johnson injury got to be deeper than rap. It got to be. It has to be. It has to be.
But also Maxwell Harrison ran 4.28 at the combine, and he's a playmaker.
A 4.28 is crazy. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, and he's a playmaker. Like he is. Yeah.
Okay, well, at least he was there when he got picked. So
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. SB, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick.
Go ahead, do your thing, brother. Oh wait, this is. I'm looking at this and thinking like Will Johnson injury gotta be worse than what we think it is. But like Sean alluded to, Matthew Harrison ran a 4.28. Kansas City has traded their pick to the Eagles. The Eagles are on the clock. There has been a trade. The Eagles are on the clock. Okay, look. Maxwell Harrison is. Oh, wait. Why did they go up one pick? Who was the Eagles? Who was the Chiefs trying to not get? Mm-hmm. So, Sean, there has been a trade. The Eagles has traded up one pick with the Kansas City Chiefs to go back one pick. I don't understand why, but we're gonna figure out in a second why they had to trade up for one pick up.
Could have been other teams calling the Chiefs about moving to 31. The Eagles didn't want to lose out on whoever they had targeted. Again, like Jahad Campbell could be an option for them here, I would think. I know they just signed Zach Bond to a 3-year deal. But what's the long term for Nakobe Dean? I think they like Nakobe Dean, but again, Jahad Campbell. Could it be for Nick Eamon-Warry, the safety from South Carolina? Obviously, they traded Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to the Texans. So, could it be, to get a safety? Could it be, again, we talked about Will Johnson. They did lose Darius Slay. I think they want to keep Cooper DeJean inside of the nickel. Yeah, keep him inside of the nickel. So, who do you put? I know they did. I think they signed Adoree Jackson, if I remember correctly. But, do they want to, add another corner outside with Quignon and Cooper DeJean? So, gonna be interesting. Could go edge here as well. They did lose Josh Sweat.
The pick is in.
Yeah, so so we'll see. Surprising they jumped up, but we'll see who they jumped up for here in a second.
Wow.
And so every team in the AFC North, outside of obviously Baltimore, drafted defensive linemen. So that's telling me they
trying to get out of Lamar Jackson. we need to get him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, at least Shador gonna get picked number 1 in the second round because Cleveland probably take him next year.
Yeah.
When the next tomorrow is the second round, right?
Tomorrow is the second and third round.
Second, third, okay. Wow. Not a day one pick. It's tough.
Again, Geno Smith. That's where I stand. To me that was really who I was comparing him to with Geno Smith. But obviously, just with Tua, some of the accuracy, I think he's got some of the same accuracy of Tua. But it's not about when. It's where. Russell Wilson was a 3rd round pick. Obviously Tom Brady was a 6th round pick.
Yep.
Brock Purdy was the last pick of the draft.
He's starting right now.
And about to get paid.
I mean,
Jalen Hurts, 2nd round pick. So it's not about so you think about, Jalen Hurts wasn't a 1st round pick, but he went to the right situation.
Mm-hmm.
And here you are. So a lot of people focus on the win. Sometimes it's not the win. It's the where is far more important than the win.
No, the where is definitely because then you can get your money. Hey, might not be right up front because you're in the top pick, but you can get your money. So don't worry about that. And then if you're a person like Shador, where you come from money with Prime, you ain't starving for nothing, so you'll be all right. You'll be happier to go to the right situation than being top of the draft. Yeah, man, we gonna got 2 more picks to go, Sean. Why they got a Lowe's commercial with Dak Prescott fumbling a nail.
That's hilarious.
They don't understand how realistic that is. I'm gonna wait to see what my teams do so far. We can wait to the next one. God, leave all these commercials. It's 2 more picks. Y'all gonna squeeze out every little ad y'all can, ain't you? The last 2 teams that have been in the Super Bowl. I think no matter what, the Chargers go offensive line here unless they trade.
You said you mean the Chiefs?
I'm sorry, Chiefs. Yes, Chiefs. Yes, they got to go offensive line here.
I don't know. I don't think they got to go offensive line. I think again they got 2 picks on 63 and 66, so they could address the offensive line later in the on day 2. Again like Wyatt Mullen from West Virginia, somebody like that. So I think it's I don't think they have to. I just think it's a matter of where they're at on their board.
Okay, the trade was the Eagles get the 31st pick, the Chiefs receive the 32nd pick and a 5th round pick.
Okay, yeah. I think the Eagles had like 3 5th round picks, so not a big deal.
Not a big deal. Yeah, they wouldn't get no more. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jahai Campbell. Yeah,
I can't
Jahad
stand
Campbell.
it.
Jahad Campbell.
Stand the Eagles, bro. They always can't stand the Eagles, bro. They always getting something good, bro. They always getting somebody good. Jahad Campbell is an excellent pick.
Yeah.
How did you get him this late?
Because
Well, I had him
30
going to the Ravens.
because 29 other teams said we're good.
They gonna regret letting the Eagles get Jahad Campbell. I'm telling you
Probably
right now.
so. Probably so.
Yeah. I'm putting the league on. Y'all are going to regret letting the Eagles get Jahad Campbell. Y'all going to regret it. I'm calling it now. So they say he only went lower because of a shoulder injury.
Jahad Campbell.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Injured his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let him go to the Eagles. Defense boosted. Don't worry. He's a top 10 talent, but we questioning his shoulder. Yeah. Let him go to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. The Eagles finna repeat, bro.
I mean, it's Howie Roseman. I mean, it's Howie Roseman, right? So
that man is gonna be fine. Because even if his shoulder's a problem, he got time to recover because the Eagles defense is so good. And when he finally get the play, he's gonna be a beast. This is a good that is an A+ pick by the Eagles. I'm sorry, A+ pick by the Eagles. Boom. I bet he happy to go to the Eagles. He's finna go somewhere he can win. Wow. I am sick. The Eagles. And I'm at AFC. They let the Eagles get Campbell. It's crazy. If this man's shoulder is 100%, unless I gotta look up what was the problem with his shoulder. Because if it's just a strain or some tour, he can heal it. When he get back,
well, I mean, again, and again, not trying to get in the minds of these teams, but again, do they think the shoulder issues long term, short term? Do they think it's something that could be reoccurring in terms of whether or not to keep him off the field? So it might be why some teams might have had him lower on their board or even off their board. Again, first round pick, it's an greater investment than later picks. So they might have said, hey, we like him, but we just don't like him in the first round because of the shoulder. They could have said, hey, we like him in the second round.
It say it's unknown when he suffered his injury, but he got surgery after the draft combine. But he had a torn labor in his left shoulder.
Oh, okay. Well, so yeah.
Man, he gonna be fine. This was they finesse. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be fine. A torn labrum? You act like his stuff was hanging off the bone. He's gonna be good. This 2025. People recover from that now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is man, bro.
Hey, Big Fangio is gonna have a field day with this guy.
Okay, say he might have to get another surgery. Okay, well that makes sense. Okay, 2 surgeries is crazy after the combat. The Chiefs pick is in. I can guarantee it's gonna be okay. The smart thing to do is take somebody on the line, offense or defense, but watch it take a wide receiver.
Yeah. Oh no! I think again, Nick Emenwari could be pick here at safety. They lost Justin Reed; he's gone. So they could, look at safety. Him, Nick Emenwari potentially.
That's Malachi Stark would have slipped, but I knew he wasn't slipping out the first round.
Yeah, Will Johnson again
is here.
You know,
Wow.
they got Trent McDuffie, obviously, but be interesting.
That's my two biggest shockers for sure right now. Will Johnson and Shador Sanders not getting picked in the first round. It's crazy.
Will Johnson a little much more surprising. Shador not so much. Not to me.
To me, both. I thought at least, if anything, I thought the Steelers would have took him, but we'll see.
I just think sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, I mean, you're
So,
right about that. All right, last pick of the draft, guys. Last pick.
Josh Simmons.
Wow. I like that pick.
I wonder if they would start him at guard and then eventually move him outside to tackle.
Josh Simmons.
Yeah, would they
with
start
the last pick of the first round?
Yeah, would they start him at guard? Yeah, would they start him at guard and then move him outside, or again, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, it makes sense. Sean, okay, we can turn the draft off because there's no more picks being played at this point in time.
Yes.
Let's go through a quick recap before we get up out of here. Let's go. We had, if you want to stop, be like, talk about it, a question, anything going on, or if you had anything to say about the pick, let us know, and I can stop. But number one, the pick went Cam Ward, quarterback, Tennessee. Number two, Travis Hunter to the Jacksonville Jaguars, wide receiver, cornerback. 3, Abdul Carter, defensive end. 4, Will Campbell, offensive tackle. 5, Graham, D tackle. 6, Genty, running back. 7, Miembu, offensive tackle. 8, McMillan, wide receiver. 9, Banks, offensive tackle. 10, Loveland, tight end. 11, Williams, defensive end. Booker, offensive line, 12. 13, Grant, D tackle. Warren, tight end, 14. 15, Walker, linebacker to the Falcons. Nolan, D tackle to the Cardinals. 17, Stewart, DN to the Bengals. 18, Zabel, offensive lineman to the Seahawks. 19, Eekbuck, wide receiver, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Barron, cornerback to the Broncos. 20. 21, thought it could have been Shador, but what Shador? Harmon, D tackle to the Steelers. My Chargers, Hampton, running back, 22. For the Green Bay Packers, Golden, wide receiver. For the Vikings at 24, they took Jackson, offensive lineman. 25, the New York Giants traded up to get here to get Dart at quarterback. Falcons at 26 took Pierce Jr., defensive end. The Baltimore Ravens took Stark at safety at 27. Detroit Lions at 28 took Williams, D tackle. The Commanders took Conley Jr., offensive tackle at 29. 30th, the Bills took Harston at cornerback, 31. Campbell went at linebacker, and 32, the last pick of the first round, Simmons went to the O-line. Real quick shot before we get out because we got to shut it down. Best pick in, I'm not going to say worst pick because it's the first round, but what was the best pick in your opinion? What was the most shocking pick that you've seen?
Best pick, terms of value and place, for me is Malachi Starks.
Mm-hmm.
Malachi Starks.
Mm-hmm.
What was the second part? I'm sorry.
The most shocking pick that you've seen.
Genty. Yeah, just because the Raiders just to me had other greater needs, but again, the talent it's not a talent thing. It was just more of a. I just thought the Raiders had greater needs. Again, you have no corners, so. But that said, that was probably the shocking
Yeah, I think they turned the whole draft upside down and ruined like a lot of people board with Genty because I think the Bears was 100% locked in. For me, I will have to agree with you. I think that Malachi Starks pick to the Baltimore Ravens is a game changing pick. I think it'll be outstanding. And for me, I'm going when the Giants trade up for Jackson Dart. I think it's the most shocking thing because I think where are they picking in the second round? If they don't have a second round pick, I won't be as shocked no more.
Who's that?
The Giants. I don't think they do.
The Giants should have a second round pick. Hold
on. From what I'm saying, they do not. So it makes sense to why they traded up, but I think they could have traded.
Oh, that's why because they traded up. That's why
they traded up. Yeah, I think whatever their second round pick was, I think they could have got Jackson Dart at their second round pick. But
I think the reason why they didn't do that was because
they would take a chance.
Well, no, because of the Rams. Yeah. I think they knew probably had intel the Rams were going to take Jackson Dart. Right. So, and I know a lot of people will talk more about this tomorrow, but Jackson Dart is a Brian Daboll type of quarterback. When you think about Brian Daboll, what he did with Josh Allen. Josh Allen can run, big arm. Jackson Dart can run,
got a big arm.
Threw for a lot of yards last year at Ole Miss. So to me, he's a Daboll type of quarterback. Again, I think their quarterback room is crowded. Again, I think it wouldn't shock me if they trade Jameis Winston, but just so Dart is the backup behind Russell Wilson. But yeah, I think it's not a surprising that he was the choice over Shedeur because of Brian Daboll and how he likes to use quarterbacks.
All right, we appreciate you guys watching the RTOD NFL Draft Special. We will see you guys tomorrow. We definitely gonna recap a lot of things that's going on with the craziness with the NFL Draft, especially with more stories that's gonna drop tomorrow. This SB and Sean Webb. And we will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.